They said, oh, why you got them guns, boy? You don't need them guns. Government ain't gonna come and take your guns. Government ain't gonna come and take you over. They may have been right about the government, boys. They may have been right about the government, but it's them adorable sub-bitches. Them adorable sub-bitches come and take us over. But we got our rifles, we got our assault rifles, we got our grenades, we got our rocket launchers. And we's gonna take them out. When you see the whites, their adorable little eyes, boys, you shoot to kill, and you shoot until they make a noise like...
Howdy and welcome to the Pot Topic Podcast. My name is Tom, and I'm subdued as fuck. With me, I have other hosts. I have Beth.
First cider.
We have Dee. We have Andy.
Hello.
We have Taryn.
Hello.
And we have...
Hello, I'm Constance Pennishard from Stiffening Come Lightly, and I'm the Vice President for the Institute of Research into the Prevention of Premature...
How about that crossbreeze, eh?
So it's obvious the research hasn't paid off yet.
just give me a minute, this doesn't normally happen.
So on this podcast, we take topics from the host, we take topics from the community, we put them in pots, we draw them out at random, and chat bullshit for about 2 hours straight.
Aye.
Hooray!
Hang on.
Bruh! Yay, pot topic!
Since when have we been doing that?
Since we got in the whiskey that someone bought. Who bought it?
Cool.
Which one's this?
We got...
So I bought the triple distilled Auchentoshan single malt Scotch whiskey classic.
Not to be confused with the Australian oak. American, Australian, they're the same place. They both are shitty little...
Not to be confused with the American oak.
American bashing again. And what have we got, Dee?
I have bought the single malt.
Try it into the microphone, mate.
No. I've tried. I've tried.
I've tried!
I've got the triple distilled Auchentoshan single malt Scotch whiskey, American oak.
Double Auchentoshan, baby!
Oh, the
double barrel Auchentoshan.
That definitely sounds.
Oh, can we have a double pop at the same time?
Stereo pop in mono.
Hey!
Cheers.
What are you joking?
Where's yours?
Let's quickly get out ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Whiskey.
Get out ahead.
Yeah.
Please don't. There's a lot of you. It's a bit of a sausage party.
Last issue, there was quite some degree of uncalled for and unbridled American bashing.
They started
Is that
it.
qualified racism?
We'd like to apologise.
Yeah, we would.
We would, because, I mean, it's not that it wasn't true, it's just that we didn't need to be such dicks about it. Most importantly, it wasn't our fault.
However, this week, the Welsh.
It was the Canadian whiskey. The hostess came and made us do it.
They seem so nice and polite and friendly until you start drinking them. And then...
And they're all like, yeah, how about it, buddy?
I'm not your buddy friend.
Call them Americans a-holes, or, whatever it is.
Canadians
say.
Those Canadians say all the time. somewhat partial to saying something about the Americans, I believe. Let's reinforce our sense of massive prejudice that has come from an imperial standpoint. Marvellous.
We've got, obviously, building a wicked standing in Northern America.
So,
Diminishing as the minutes go by.
Can you see in which area... Oh, how's the whiskey?
it's actually really nice. I just breathed it in rather than drinking it.
Cheers all.
You're silly. Can you see where people are listening in? Or don't we have that luxury?
I can see you listening.
No, I'm not paying for that.
and even if we could, we couldn't talk about it because it's not the done thing. It's not the done thing to talk about that sort of stuff live on air. I say live, it's not live.
What, watching
on
people?
the podcast?
Well, I guess I've been told off. I must be American because Tucker's right.
Although to be fair, if when the elections do happen, if America does elect Donald Trump, then everything we said stands.
Yeah. So there you go, America.
I think that's fair.
Don't elect him in, and we'll be nice to you. Otherwise, you got it coming.
I missed this. So the whole American bashing thing sprung from the whiskey.
Yes.
No.
Well,
I say around the 4th of July. Kind of started around then.
Right.
We were trying
Fair
to.
enough.
I tried to explain to our one American listener that we're aware of.
Cheeky Nando's.
No, not cheeky Nando's. The fact that we call chips crisps,
Right.
and that they are in fact crisps. Not chips.
And we're right, and they're wrong.
And expanded.
Right, well, okay,
Rampantly from there.
Stop. Let's not do this again.
Whoa.
How do you spell colour?
Diola.
America, we're sorry. Anyway.
You don't spell colour Diola. That's rude and racist.
There's also no such letter as la.
What have we done this week, everyone?
Well, I went to America. Let's talk about that. No, I didn't.
I can link in with that. I went to the International Cigar Smoker of the Year Awards at Boysdale's in Canary Wharf. And
Hang on a minute, sorry, the cigar smoker
Correct.
of the year.
It's technically the Snow Queen Cigar Awards, yeah, but they had the International Cigar Smoker of the Year Award at the Cigar Awards. And I met the ambassador for Cuba. And it's my first chance I've ever had legitimately to say to someone, Your Excellency, and to be correct with it. And she is absolutely lovely.
Brilliant.
And there you are, that's a link to American Assembly. We haven't Cuban bashed because I don't dare. Amazing evening, very, very cool, intensely drunken, and I was there with my father, who was nominated for the Celebrity Smoker of the Year award.
Of course he was.
Oh,
Along
brilliant.
such heady names like Pierce Brosnan and things like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
fantastic.
Very good.
And
Very good.
I think I might be all right for me to say that. Yeah, and I bugger it. Burt Reynolds. We remember Burt Reynolds.
We do remember Burt Reynolds.
You know, moustache and the eyebrows that never seem to lose their angle.
We've all seen Archer, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I was going to go say Smoking the Bandit, but alright, go
Yeah,
for it.
that years old.
it suddenly hit that he. Well, put it this way: he's obviously been alive for a very long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that he's not looking great.
That's all right.
health.
He's been
Maybe
smoking
he'll-
cigars for a long
Yes,
time.
exactly. Yeah, have an
And
honorary
working hard.
tumour. Yeah, well done. You come up and run us up, but what you've got for silver place is lumpy.
Does this mean that your dad is a very good sucker? To the point where he'd be voted?
Sucks like a dream, but he cuts it first.
He's a pro.
Yeah. No fucking about it. Well, yeah.
Nice.
So there you have it. And Negrinos, what's the cocktail?
Negri-
No
I
idea.
think it is Negroni.
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 Thank you.
The reason I know what a Negroni is because of the Doug Stanhope podcast, because all they do is drink through it, apart and talk and be hilarious.
They are very strange drinks.
They're ripping us off, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Drunk and hilarious.
What are you going to say about Negroni? Sorry.
Oh, that they're deeply awkward. Can I also just say
Deeply awkward?
They're deeply awkward. They appear to be using alcohol as mixer, which I find very
my
intriguing.
mum did once.
I found it intriguing until the third one, and then I
childhood.
just found it absolutely brilliant. The news item that's been going around this week that probably has been read by many people that I utterly adore. It's a short one. G-string lawyer cleared after bedroom break-in. An ex-lawyer who's, and this is in the Guardian and the Standard newspapers. An ex-lawyer who sneaked into a woman's bedroom in a G-string and fishnet stockings while high on drugs was cleared at Southwark Crown Court of trespassing with intent to commit a sexual offence. Desmond Moran, 53, claimed he thought the woman was a panda.
Wow. What a twist.
Ah, the old panda defence gets them every time.
So does that mean, was that in a hotel room?
Yes.
So does that mean in another room there was a panda waiting?
Yes.
Smacked off its bunts on eucalyptus or whatever, or bamboo shoots, be like, oh, this is wicked. Any minute now, that hot guy in the stocking's going to turn up.
Wrong room.
Oh no, not again.
Nah, mate, you want the penguin? That's number 53.
I guess I better do a handstand and rub my scent all up against the bedstead.
I thought you were going to be a polar bear. I was. Someone got excited. You can't see the black bits.
That reminds me of one of the, does anyone know Scan BC, the Twitter feed?
Yes.
No.
Basically, it's tweets that the police of Vancouver tweet out of what's happening in their police force at that time. Sometimes it can be a little bit unsubstantiated, but one of the ones recently was, because I heard it on the Smodcast podcast, one of the ones recently was a report into the police. A woman has called the police for finding a drunk man and a laptop on her balcony. What?
If you're going to get free Wi-Fi, you know.
That's what they said. That free
Gotta go to
Wi-Fi,
extremes.
WW Internet.
I think I found a hotspot.
She called again 5 minutes later, said, no, it's all right. The laptop's run away now. It's just the trunk man.
There was
And
another,
damn, these mushrooms are good.
there was another one where it was a customer of a cafe would not leave unless the cashier agreed to go on a date with him. So they called the police.
Wow.
Did you
Brain
hear,
check as he's being pulled away by the cops.
did you hear about this guy that said that he tried to hold up some convenience store out in that place just north of Cuba? That basically he arrived there and the manager, who was the only one that had the keys to the till that he was trying to rob, was out. So the robber left his mobile phone number to say to the people who are working there, ring me as soon as he gets back.
God.
So of course the police were informed and they said it all. I've just been like, yeah, come on then, we're ready, mate. Yeah, you can't go for it. True story.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can only think of a couple of things that I've done this past week. One of which, me and Jason, who I think has appeared speaking for about 2 sentences on a previous episode, or issue. What are they?
Issues.
That's right.
We have issues, dear.
We have taken to sometimes having productive Fridays, where we all write a list of things down, which is basically life admin that we need to get done that we just put off for ages. And we just do it. We don't. There's we don't have to be talking to each other at all. We're just round each other's houses, one of the other's houses, and we just get that stuff done. So I went round to his house this past Friday, and we had a productive Friday. It was really, really productive. Got all my Christmas shopping done. Cancelled a taste card. Silly things like that you'd never get round to doing.
See, I call those things BLTs.
BLTs.
Basic life tasks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're a little bit easier to swallow than chores.
Well, if you're trying to swallow them, you're doing them terribly wrong. I've got to do the.
Oh, not more washing up.
I knew I left this calendar somewhere. Well, at least it's clean.
Deep throat laundry.
How does one eat a call to the council?
Very, very painfully. Hello.
It takes hours. Not a lot of seasoning. So we did that productive Friday, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to go home. And our friend Oleg had insisted that we go to a party, and he won. So my productive Friday went into getting the night buses to Elephant and Castle to go to an absolutely lovely party where I knew the only person I knew was Oleg, which was lovely. I met loads of his friends, and they're absolutely lovely. But I did take a piece of floor to the party. Because
Whose floor?
Elephant and Castle's floor.
Right, good.
Walked past some construction site. There was a bit of floor on the floor, so I took that bit of floor and I took it to the party.
Lovely.
Wait, which bit? The bit of floor that was on the floor, or the floor that was under the floor?
The bit of floor that was on the floor, because I just want to point out it wasn't a criminal offence. They had chucked that away.
Discarded floor.
tell?
Surplus flooring.
It was surplus floor.
How can you tell when someone's chucked it, given that will normally mean it lands on the floor? Are you aware that area of floor was designated for waste, or whether it was actually just being applied as caution floor, like protection floor?
Floor that's normally not attached is normally pretty surplus.
Well, technically, mate, we're on tectonic plates, so no. What floor really is attached, man? I mean, let's look at this in a really existential manner. What would Sartre like to step on?
Do you think I'm gonna...
Well, in the cosmic scheme of things, there is no floor. There's just pebbles.
Pebbles, cosmic pebbles. Dun dun dun. Are we really alone in the universe, or are we just skimming?
Maybe I shouldn't have told the internet I took a bit of floor.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
They're going to be onto you. Elephant and Castle have got their own Vice team.
It will be
ready now.
absolutely fine.
Those are
Beth.
listening
Don't
to our
worry.
podcast.
Yeah.
Vice and
Mr.
Floor
Elephant.
Department. Detective Lino says, "We found our man. It's a woman."
You should have really picked up a bit of ceiling though, so you could rock into the pie and just go from the ceiling to the floor.
Good stuff.
Wow, we peaked the mics there.
Oh, that would be really exciting.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that ages how I could work that one in. I just went, no, it was quiet. Do you know what? Ceiling floor, yay. So
Yeah, I'm not done a whole lot since the last recording. I've written a couple of short bits of short fiction, which might be contest worthy. Actually, no, one of them definitely is. So just a bit of flash fiction. That I read to Diola actually.
Flash fiction being
it's-
the Flash.
No, it's it's a story that's less than 1,000 words long, or 1,000 words or less. And then another one. I kind of got the inspiration. So I've never really written about love before. Let's do something about love. Let's write a short story about love. All right, what we got? And I started coming up with it.
She died. The end.
Oh, if only it was that simple. I started out with, like, all intentions to write a love story as love story, but then it got weird, and then it got ontological. So,
Stepping down from weird.
Hopefully, I'll sort of tidy them up and do something with those. I think I finally finished the draft of the letter to Super the Hardest, so I'll have to sort that out at some point. And then, there was Kel's birthday.
There was Kel's
Yes.
birthday.
Which happened here, which was, again, it was big drinky occasion. On the actual night, I went to bed at about 2:00, which is the first time I've done that at a party for longer than I can remember. Not that I can remember that long, but
You woke up as I came into your bed.
yes, I did.
Just want to clear that up.
No, you.
You walked in and you sat down on my washing on my chair, stared quizzically at what I had playing in the background, and then just kind of filled the room with columns and columns and columns of vape vapor. And then after a while, I kind of pulled myself together enough, and you were just sort of sitting there, kind of going, "What the fuck's this?" At the screen. So, "You're right, dude." And he sort of looked over me and said, "No, tired." So, well, fucking get in bed then, you pellend. And then he sort of climbed over me, and despite I was covering more than half the bed, you still managed to take up the exact centre of the bed, forcing me to the outer quarter. So I just got up at that point. And then the next day, I got really drunk.
Yeah,
really drunk.
We arrived at around 2:00, and I went straight to bed because I was so tired.
Yeah.
So we slept for about the same amount of time. So when we got up, I came down. You were watching films or clips on YouTube with Eddie. So I was like, fantastic little mini party while everyone else is sleeping. And we started early, and
I was
got very sloppy on the Sunday.
According to Darren, because after everyone else went away, it was just me and Darren. My memory clearly cuts at a certain point, as it often does. I went to work the next day. I woke up. I'm amazed my alarm woke me up. It woke me up at 6, and I was still absolutely obliterated. And I had to get a journey. I was going to Shoreditch Town Hall to work that day. And at every stage of the journey, like the waking up, the getting up, the showering, the drying, the getting dressed, the getting ready, the leaving, the getting on the train, the getting off the train, the leaving the station, the walking to Shoreditch Town Hall, the entering of the venue. At every single one of those points, I stopped myself going, "Mate, you can just turn around and just say you're sick. Just go home. Just go home." No. And like, bearing in mind, I did this when I was less than 2 minutes away from the venue. I was still going, "Mate, you could just turn around. Just turn around." Oh, I'm fucking here now.
Yeah,
And
just go for it.
that was a bad day.
Oh,
Hurt my back, and I think I'm gonna have to leave theatre.
yeah.
So so that's coming up. Coming to a podcast near you. Someone who works at Lidl's.
I've always wanted to tread the boards.
So it's going to be an interesting few months in that respect. Anybody else?
May I
That
ask
party
how?
had so many casualties.
Bloody right.
Fucking hell, this podcast got organised at that party. There was a text this morning from Taryn to everyone saying, "Are we recording today?" It was like, "Yeah, you organised it 4 days ago."
Yeah.
Oh wait. Then
I got offended because I was like, "Well, who did you organise it with?" And you're like,
you were the first person he asked.
"Yeah, it was a sloppy Sunday."
Yeah, it was a sloppy Sunday.
I just found some of the sauce that came with the Chinese that I demanded Diola order on that Sunday. It was still over there. Just threw it away. I like the way it's
Great stuff! story.
You came over to drop off the laptop and stuff so
Taryn could get on with editing the Iceland special.
Yeah.
Big Al was asking about that.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Did that today. Tom sat down with me in the laptop and reminded me how to use Audacity.
And then listened to industrial music for about 3 hours while he did it.
Correct.
It was brilliant.
It's pretty much all cobbled together now. So we're just going to have a listen through. It's going to be a mess.
I'm really, really fucking intrigued to see how that turns out, especially the me and drunk Heather special.
Yeah.
That's a nice teaser.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll give you the link before
really
we publish it so we can all listen. Yeah,
Tease it. Let me put them off. 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get these
3:10.
Okay. And that's the edited final product.
Blooper reel. 9 days.
May I ask, how was your anniversary?
It was very good. It was unfortunate that the anniversary fell on the same weekend as Kel's birthday, but it was awesome. We went out of London. We had a place for the night, and it was the idea of turning back up here for Kel's drinks was the idea of getting enough sleep on Saturday during the day to be able to do that journey, and we didn't get back and get to sleep until mid-afternoon on Saturday. Oh, wow. And then I slept through till Sunday morning.
This is Andy and his Mrs. Paula's anniversary.
Congrats!
Which he only did like as hardcore as he possibly could.
Oh, come on. We met at a 3-day hard dance festival, and we met up again at Andy C 10 hours straight drum and bass rave a year ago.
I think you're committed.
Starts to mean to go on, you know.
We were looking. I looked through sort of like all the ticket stubs and things because I still collect ticket stubs to raves and gigs and whatever else. And it was just like, well, there's a start of our relationship, which is Andy C all night, and then there's all this wonderful stuff that we've done during the year, and then there's Andy C all night at the same venue this year, which is lovely.
Nice.
Isn't it romantic?
Yeah. Absolutely fucking love my girlfriend, and it was an awesome weekend. Yeah.
Oh, yay!
The only thing I think I did was went with Kel for sort of like a post-birthday thing to go see Christmas Carol with Jim Broadbent.
John Broadbent.
Starring as Scrooge, which was amazing because the stage was... Okay, it's like a pop-up book. So there was a pole in the middle of the stage where the stage rotated round it like pages of a book around a spine. Nice. And so you would see people transition from one stage, walk through a door in the page, go to the next stage, which was the next room. And it was very, very simple. But they brought in like shadow puppets at one point. There was... at one point there were people with like mannequin heads on sticks. And this was the first haunting of Scrooge, and they're just over the top of the wall going, which is quite funny. Booga. Very, very good, very, very funny. It did miss the mark a bit. It was slightly rushed at the end, and there didn't seem like there was like a last act whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
What, you mean the act where all gets resolved and it turns up for dinner and it's all
that
nice?
self-realisation moment where he breaks down and he's just like, I will accept Christmas into my heart. I will become... And it just seemed like it was completely glossed over. He went from being cynical arsehole to redeemed nut job very quickly.
Who didn't know?
Redeemed nut jobs. Oh no, I'm such a terrible person!
No.
Please, buy everyone! Turkey!
That scene where he walks out and tells his boy to go get a goose for $1 or $5 if he's back in less than 5 minutes or whatever it is. He sends off the boy and then has 5 minutes mental breakdown in the middle of the stage going, I love Christmas, I love this, I love you, madam, and points at someone in the stage. We're going to have to call it off, there's too many people. I love you too. It's like, Okay, mate.
Is this
Christ,
basically you suddenly they're reversing it and making it actually Dickens just basically is documenting a man's complete nervous breakdown and his absolute intent to lose his entire fortune by buying everyone turkey. It's like, stop it! It's the middle of the year.
It's July.
Will you stop buying us? Like, oh my god! Because who'd have known that Dickens actually just was going to like predict what happened with Starbucks? Clearly, Starbucks need to be reminded that red cups are not sufficient. And they need to remember the spirit of Christmas.
What happened there?
Basically, Starbucks became a Dickens character, and decided that actually all they bloody did, they just took a few Christmas things off their red cup that's seasonal, and just figured that was seasonal enough. And all of that place that's in between Canada and Cuba went sort of like, oh, this means you're denying Christ, and that it's
What?
I mean,
I thought they were saying, oh, it's all red, therefore it's really aggressive.
Angry coffee.
Morning!
What's your name? Hatred. Well, you're getting a double espresso today. Oh God!
No, the main argument, as far as I can tell, was people complaining that Starbucks was trying to force Christmas out of Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, well, no, they've just got
just-
a less
they
decorative cup.
It's
a fucking cup, guys.
Yeah.
It's a cup you buy from Starbucks.
And then you throw it.
Why is this news?
Because it's basically all the kind of like, the same thing over here, like the whole Britain First, like, oh, the Islamists are coming over here to take our Christmas, and it's like,
Ooh, that happened recently. Britain First got taken off Facebook.
yes, they have, and the dude that's running it was arrested.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Good,
Well,
good,
I mean,
good,
it's
good,
inciting racial hatred, so
LOL.
yeah.
Have you seen on Facebook the page Spell Checker Racist?
Yes.
Isn't it
yeah.
fucking
Fantastic.
wonderful? Isn't it wonderful?
Yes.
Very good.
So did you get up close and personal with some dangerous chemicals this week?
In the place that I work, I got in.
Starbucks is dangerous as hell.
Just you know, watch out for that shit.
Fetch the red cup, dear. No, not the red.
I will have a yellow cake cinnamon latte.
Oh God, when your coffee gets filled with a Geiger counter. How many espressos? Ooh, too strong for me.
Let's get the hazmat out. I feel like waking up.
As always, down where I work was insanely windy, and it's just windy. I had some fucking beautiful sunrises though.
Nuclear sunrise.
I do wonder what quite a lot of people, because I'm clearly the one that kind of walks around the station going, hello, hi, hello, right. I found myself not saying hello anymore because I'm walking past a lot of people lots of time. It's turned people I think that don't speak to me think I'm northern because I say hiya, but I say it really quick and go hey up. So they think I say hey up.
Just going down there. Oh no, that doesn't work.
We're just going down reactable number 2 to see if any weapons down there. I'll let you know. Pint of RPA for you, is it? Yeah, nice.
Apparently, someone put a weasel in one of the radioactive scanning machines.
And are weasels radioactive?
The thing is, the reason
No, but
they weren't even
was.
fucking about because it was inside the area where things shouldn't just get in there and not get checked and leave. So like when it's in here, catch it, shut it in this box. No, it's fine. Put it down.
I don't know what we're doing. I'm completely fine with scratching its fifth ear that's glowing. Like, everything's fine.
Just
Where are
goes,
the trousers? The Russian nuclear whippet. So you point the trouser leg that way towards Turkey.
I haven't been up to a great deal. Ooh, playing Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me, that's fun.
Mortal Wombat.
Bought the I was going to say extension. No.
DLC.
Expansion.
DLC, thank you. That includes Predator. Anytime.
And Jason.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, Jason.
Jason
Jason
excited.
was.
Sorry.
He's in my bag, dude.
Ooh.
Later.
You can't keep Jason in the bag.
You can if he's a radioactive weasel.
Nobody put Jason in a bag.
His name is Jason the Radioactive Weasel.
Right, mate? Right, mate.
Guys,
Got me on dreads.
Half an hour intro whimsy limit.
I'm not. The words didn't work there. Never mind.
Before you continue with the
good luck,
story,
Tom.
can you please pass me your cock?
Okay. Oh, where's it gone?
Oh, there's the big wooden one there. There we go.
Thank you.
Piece of wood.
Lovely. Well, shall we get on
You do
with...
it backwards.
Can
Why are you doing
handle.
it backwards?
Wrong way.
I don't know. I
You're
don't know
doing
how
it
to handle my
backwards.
cock.
No,
Other way.
backwards.
Other way.
There you go.
You'd think after
Like
4
you
years
use
of
any
marriage.
other bottle opener ever.
I think it's the way that it is because I think it's good. Like if it was out that end, I think I would automatically put it. But yeah,
I don't know.
someone
It's
else
just
do it.
seriously, you get
That's
cock in a hand
what-
and
I
mine
know,
just
I know.
goes.
We'll just point out, in case this makes the edit,
won't.
this is Beth attempting... All the bloopers. This is Beth attempting to handle a massive wooden cock with a bottle opener on the end.
It's not a cock.
did
It's
you
a
call me?
massage.
Oh, gosh.
You can have
So,
your cock back now.
I don't know if someone posted it from our group or I just saw it online, but it was a YouTube video of this guy. He would wander around his workshop. He would go into drawers where there were these rusty old tools. He would pick one and then he would make it into a bottle opener. And then he'd do it again, and do it again,
Nice.
and do it again. And
You run out
the-
of tools progressively
Yeah.
to make it all.
So at the end, you had this table absolutely full of tools that was just, they were all bottle openers. We had axes, we had trowels, we had,
Amazing.
anything just cut and drilled and beveled in the right way to be a bottle opener.
Cheers, Andy. Now it's on my bucket list that I have to have a trebuchet bottle opener. Ready, launch! Done! You dickheads! That wasn't a normal bottle! It was a twist cap, you fucking ass! That's at least 75 centilitres of baby sham ruined!
As long as you can get the trajectory so that it actually lands in that
France.
big bucket of
Yeah,
bottle
France.
caps
Oh, right. Okay.
that you've mentioned on the podcast before.
America.
The currency.
I tell you what, Tom. While we sort out the first topic, let's get ahead of the whole Syria issue today, and you read us out the
spam
bit of
message
spam
I
we
got
got.
today. Yeah, so going through all the topics, writing them down from all you guys. Thank you very much for submitting.
You're welcome.
Yeah, one was from, I think he spelled it Day Ooh La.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I came across a nice spam bot called Camilla, who had this to say. So it was, I'm not sure by Bimafrost. Next day delivery, since the assaulted rebel groups include Islamic jihadists and terrorists, it's neither in the interests of the US nor Russia, let alone Israel, that such militants replace Assad. An uncontrolled Assad regime may turn out to be the lesser of evils.
Buy now.
So these sorts of spam bot things, they're just collections of commonly searched things.
There's a lot of bingo things, and it's not for bingo.
I like that Bifrost made it in there.
I think that's what they were selling.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really worrying about it? Is because the language they're using is kind of almost the equivalent of sort of syntactic baby babble. It's kind of that toddling stage where they haven't got the words. They're going but it's
If you pay attention to none of the meanings of the words, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, it's kind of nice that it's moved on, because the old spam was just actual random keywords slammed into just a block of text. Whereas now you can see that obviously someone's gone, oh, fuck, these keep being rejected, Tim. What are we going to do? So, I don't know, Colin. Let's put a few ands in there and a V. And then they've actually spent some effort going, dear my darling lovely Susan, have you considered the veracity of massive microwave Assad? You know,
Yeah.
and they sort of,
It's
making
more
an
of a
effort.
sentence, but it still
Yeah.
makes no sense
It's not making-
whatsoever.
yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know where she got it from, but one of my friends on Facebook, she's found some kind of app on Facebook where it makes a status for you made up of your most common things you talk about in your statuses. It makes no sense, but it is a sentence. And she keeps posting up like, again, this status bot is so much better at rating sentences than me, and you can't make them up. They're amazing, like collection of words.
I need to know what that is.
I'm
That
not sure I
sounds
posted.
amazing.
I'm gonna ask her.
I'm not sure I posted enough on Facebook for it to have any
No.
data.
Oh, then it'd be really short and concise, which would
Yeah.
be fucking brilliant. It'd be like,
Yeah.
Ham.
drunk drum and bass.
The whole last 6 years of my life, Facebook posts summed up in the word ham.
Rave.
Let's go to a ham raid.
Nothing but ham, raven, avocado.
What I do like about these spam messages is that the lack of punctuation just makes them, like you said, like just an excited toddler who's just decided that I'm very excited about something. I'm not quite sure all it could be.
Assad.
Terrorists, don't let them win. Burp.
Oh, Assad is so going to be my child's first words.
Assad.
Assad!
Arse sad.
That's right. He's dead now. Should we have the next?
Dude.
He will be. I'm sure. I'm not going to have children.
By
for
the
a
time
while.
this comes out,
Rikard.
Rikard, one from Pol Pot.
One
Hello,
from the
Rikard.
community. Rikard, I can't read it. Well, I can read it, but I don't know what this word is. System Bulaget, monopoly government liquor style. Good or bad from your perspective? What is that?
Can we have a Google
Can you see
search?
it?
Oh,
Can we have a Google search?
Can we just make sure that this isn't like a spam bot that's come with the name Rikard?
Can we get a Google search?
Yeah.
Can we get a Google?
Can we get a rewind?
Do you
System
do you
Bellage?
notice any difference
Are you
between
doing
the
it?
American oak Auchentoshan
I
and
think-
the classic?
yes, I can. Yeah.
I think I
Auchentoshan?
prefer the American oak.
Do you?
What? You can tell a difference?
Yeah.
Vodka is betrayed.
One has a
This
specific
one-
bite.
Bite.
Yes.
It didn't bite me. It's liquid.
No, it's,
Are you ill?
No, this one is like not as harsh whiskey.
Right. Is that because it's the second glass?
So go on then, Hal. What is
Oh,
it?
do you want the
all right,
the
so
American oak?
Do,
I don't know which one I had last time.
You had the classic last time.
do you want me to recite the wiki of what
okay.
System Bellage
It looks
is?
like a locomotive.
So you have basically they're saying the System Bellage, which I'm assuming is the pronunciation of it. I guess literal English translation, the System Company, is a government-owned chain of liquor stores in Sweden. It is the only retail store allowed to sell alcoholic beverages that contain more than 3.5% alcohol by
What?
volume. Systembolaget also sells non-alcoholic beverages, although this product segment represents less than 0.5% of the total sales of beverages. To buy alcoholic beverages at Systembolaget, one has to be 20 years of age or older. At Swedish restaurants and bars, the legal age to buy alcoholic beverages is 18 years, though bars and clubs may voluntarily set an age limit higher than 18 if they prefer.
So there's a few countries that have this sort of rule.
Yeah, Iceland aren't the
One of them.
The offers
They
in Iceland.
you can buy alcohol in the specific alcohol shops. I'm guessing fairly similar to that.
Yeah,
But, in the same way,
in-
you can buy. They're alcoholic drinks. They're like kind of malt beer things that go up
they're-
to about 2.5%.
Up to 2.5. There are the pilsners that
Yeah,
do
yeah.
exactly as is described.
That's 3.5. Sorry to interject, but I've just found perhaps what may more pertinently be being referred to. Corruption controversy. The corruption scandal first gained widespread media attention in the autumn of 2003 when Systembolaget, issuing its first press release, regarded the preliminary investigations on 7th of November 2003. On 11th February 2005, 77 managers of Systembolaget stores were charged with receiving bribes from suppliers, and one of the largest trials in modern Swedish history followed. 18 managers were found guilty on December 19th, and then on February 23rd, another 15 managers were found guilty. In January 2009, allegations were aimed against Fondberg & Co., the second largest supplier of wine to Systembolaget, with a market share of 8.5%, concerning large payments made to the Gibraltar firm Bodegas, and are under investigation by the Swedish tax agency.
So
But basically,
they're avoiding tax or something?
yeah, but it sounds like a monopoly trying to avoid tax.
Okay,
Oh,
so given all that, I can kind of extrapolate from the scribbles in front of me. The Systembolaget, in brackets, monopoly government liquor store. Good or bad from your perspective?
It sounds. Can you say again the word again?
Systembolaget.
It sounds like a really nice drink.
It does,
I
doesn't
doubt
it?
it would sound
I'll have
like
5 Systembolaget, please.
Well, no, it sounds like
Extra ice and salt.
It sounds. He says spitting everywhere.
made yourself laugh.
I don't know, Helga.
what
Sometimes
would
I
it-
want Technobomb.
What would it? Yeah, I was going to say, what would it be garnished with?
Well, other than the
Salmon.
salt, I
cured
don't know.
salmon.
Yeah. In
You
very, very
managed
thin
to
cubes.
spit on the cigarette
I'm
that
sorry.
I'm rolling.
I'm sorry. Would you like me to have that one and you have the unspittled cigarette?
I'm just not sure that I'm gonna. You can roll this one because it's hard now. Because it's.
Yeah, but you roll the wrong way.
Well, just sort your life out and stop spitting on other people's cigarettes. Basically.
No!
To be honest, I would love this if I was listening.
In 2011, Beth and my band and stuff like that, we toured. We played some gigs out in Norway, and it was explained to us, as I'm sure you guys also visited Scandinavian-ish countries, sort of thing, is that out in Scandinavia as a whole, other than possibly maybe Finland as an exception, alcohol out there is prohibitively expensive. With a kind of two big fingers pointing at prohibition, prohibitively. When we went out there, we were given exactly. We were given a kind of survival pack by our very generous host, who provided various things and said, as a warning, by the way, the things that are expensive out here are everything and alcohol. So we went to a bar, and I ordered a pint of beer, and apparently so many English people do that. They just go straight to, we get a pint of beer, please, mate, and they're like, really? You are hoping to buy okay, and they go off and they do the pint of, and they bring, and it's like basically 7 or 8 quid.
Yeah.
Only the high rollers get pints of something, so they go and find the
it takes you so long
strongest
to get
thing you
drunk.
can possibly find.
Yeah.
Which was the actual name of it is this. It's kind of almost like a herbal tincture thing. That the name of it sounds like farewell. And then it's like, and they call it, it's farewell, good. And this guy was like, great gig, by the way, can I buy you a drink? It's like, yeah. And he goes and gets these 2 Favlaki, whatever they're called, Fav or whatever. Oh, and I had them, and it was like, I've got to, not because I'm hand my drink, no, not at all. But it's more that I had it. It's like, that's just like having a strong drink, I guess. And I'm like, oh, you're going down. The only thing is that I did say is that the border between Norway and Sweden is so pronounced as to what's more available in Sweden than in Norway. To give perspective on this thing of system bollage, is that on the border where you can drive through, there is a warehouse type shop with a massive border facing wall where it can be seen very well from Norway. And this is a massive, like, imagine the largest Tesco sort of thing, apparently, like that. And they've just hand painted on it in Norwegian, we have porn and booze. And you would
Know your market.
Yeah,
That's what this is taught
and
us.
and it's facing Norway, because the thing is, their relationship to that is like us
Look
going
at
on the
our
booze
booze.
run, the Calais booze run.
Yeah.
So I think there are similar things in some of the states in America where there are
dry states.
different. There are different rules in different
Yes.
counties in different states, and there are lovely.
Left over from Prohibition.
Yeah, there are these lovely nooks in one half of America where the state lines are all wiggly, where lots of states are very, very close together, so that whole collection of states gets to go in. But I think when I went to Norway, and we knew the score with going out and drinking, that that it's very expensive to go out and buy beer. Therefore, people generally over there have vast vodka drinking parties. And
Yeah.
then they go out for a couple of beers right at the end of the night, just before closing. And so because we knew this, and we knew how expensive it would be, we bought all of our booze at duty free as we entered Norway. And that was brilliant, because we were going up into a cabin in the woods, it's our friends, and we had all our booze for the entire weekend. We had no need to go to any pubs. There weren't any pubs there, because we're in the middle of nowhere by a lake. Yet we still decided one afternoon that, we'll just pop out to the local town and see what the nightlife's like. And we did it like we would do here, and went out about 9 o'clock. And where did we go? The only place that looked open, which is the only place that you'll find any English people, or you're guaranteed to find English people in any place in any city in the whole world.
Irish bar?
Yeah, we went to the Irish bar.
There's one in Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Is there one in Reykjavik?
It's called Irish Bum.
Sorry, got Irish bum. Irish
Wish
bar.
I could say yes.
So we went there at about 9 o'clock, and there was nobody there apart from some pensioners who clearly don't have anything else to do other than sit around and drink. And but they were very chatty and very nice, and they told us all about all of the bootlegged alcohol that they
gosh.
buy monthly. they've got the alcohol dealer who comes round and sells them
That's hard
clear
to fit
label.
under your jacket, though, isn't it?
coming,
In a way.
It's a good profession. I've been doing it for about a decade. It's brilliant.
Please buy something. I need to walk.
There's something to link in with this. Sorry, I'm monopolising this. You see what I did there? That with Finland being this massively alcoholic state and everything like that, that to Andrew Ongley, our old flatmate, he said that the drink culture out there is very, very different. Well, starting to become similar to ours in the sense that we are becoming slightly closer there. The binge drinking is a massive thing, but they went out to in the centre of Helsinki and went to go to. I don't mean Helsinki, do I? Yes, I do. Finland. Yeah. In Helsinki, that they would go out to a club, and the bar hours are apparently roughly similar to ours. And they went out post bar hours to go to a particular club, and they saw this one guy across the street as they were heading to the club, and he was not just like rolling around in the gutter, still clutching this kind of not insubstantial sort of bottle of vodka. Just when he's obviously been drinking it neat, but a lot more prior to that. Absolutely out, like almost verging on catatonic drunk. They continue walking in the direction they thought this club was in until they realised he was in the queue. And at the state at which any bouncer in England would be like, just no. Yeah. Like, absolutely. That's how they that is how the Finnish do. is that they will queue and they will get paralytic to that point. But the thing is, I mean, sorry, but go to Leeds, Manchester. You know, it's just got like, you know.
Funny you should say.
I'm going to bring this back to the topic.
I was going to say, yeah.
sorry to jump in on there, D. Yeah, I've only really got two things to say about it. System Belage kind of sounds like the state-sanctioned vodka of communist Russia, and the idea of government-run liquor stores. I'm not actually. I don't disagree with. It's obviously
it sounds like how they do weed.
Well, yeah, that was my point.
What, in America?
Yes.
Because it's a drug, it should. It might be an idea to keep it kind of state controlled,
regulated.
Oh, it's too expensive though.
But then also kind of but then also legalize all the other drugs and have the state.
No,
control
I mean
that.
alcohol. It gets too expensive and corrupt. Is it already corrupt? No.
Everyone should be able to drink.
No, because you can just have what I like about this country is you can have a nice local brewery, a family-run local brewery, and they can sell it from their brewery.
Fuck that shit! I can go to Lidl and get wankered for £5 and it's not state-owned.
I
like that.
it.
I think the whole issue with it is...
Sorry, Hal. I don't see any reason why that would have to stop. Like, if you produced your own stuff and were kind of licensed as a as a small brewer, you should be able to sell your own product. Just in the same way that a small farm or like a small holding will sell its own strawberries. Yeah, that would make sense. But if you did the bulk of it, if you did the bulk of the off-license stuff in kind of the state-sanctioned way, it may have some possible benefits.
I work in an industry where we're about to suffer, as in this coming June in 2016, in the vaping industry, we're about to suffer massive regulation. And I say suffer from a very particular point. I have no objection to what regulation can present in this sort of sense of safety, which is that, yes, absolutely, a toxin of any kind, and nicotine is a toxin, of course. It is mind-altering to some degree. Needs to be regulated and made secure. Otherwise, you know, at the moment in the vaping industry, there are many people who self-mix, and they're now selling. Some of them are friends of mine, and I've tried their liquids, and they're very good. But there is a large part of this which absolutely, rightly, should be regulated from a safety perspective, because you're putting something in your body. Now, the only thing is, though, that it's such a, sorry to use the term, grey area, because the thing is, whilst that safety regulation should be in place, it also then is totally open to being abused. I am very much of the frame of mind that if you have a state-regulated liquor retailers and stuff like that, and that's the monopoly, what that doesn't then introduce is diversity within the market, which is utterly vital.
Yeah, that's what this topic seems to be pointed towards, is the monopoly of it more than anything.
That's a tried and tested thing. Like, at the end of that Wikipedia page that you were just reading from, it was showing the other monopolies. So there was one in Norway, there was one in Finland. Finland, was there one in Finland? So basically it's corruption. So we've seen that it doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that it couldn't work.
Where the system can be abused, it will be abused by those people who can.
Because the profits will be massive if you manage to have a governmental control.
I'm sure there are abuses the other way. You are in power with the state. then you can get away with a lot more.
But then again, licensing laws within the UK are in cooperation with the state in any case. But the only thing is what it does
No,
at
but
least
the retail
permit.
of it.
Yes, the retail of it, however. But we are, bear in mind that in the UK, we are also governed by at least some element of government sanction over retail of alcohol anyway. I mean, you look at only, there's a minimised version of it. Like,
If I got a license, anyone can get a fucking license, mate.
yes, but however, it is much more difficult for you to sell through a major chain supermarket, who, by the way, have been regulated. If you looked at the whole thing of deals
very
of deals
hard.
and
Oh, God,
extras.
yeah.
You know, and some would say, if anything, you know, topical point, but actually, there's a lot of regulation that should maybe come in because alcohol is bloody dangerous.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Can I have some of the
Cannot
whiskey, please?
disagree with that.
Decriminalise it all, man.
Would you like the classic or the American oak?
Oh, I'll have the classic, actually, thank you.
In the meantime, Dee, I believe you've got the next topic
Can
for
I
us.
just
Oh,
ask,
yeah,
Sorry,
go
hang
for it.
on.
Rikard, can you please Rikard, can you record how to actually say that fucking name?
Well, System Bolaget,
Yeah.
I'm going with, but
Can you please and send it to us, and then we can hear you and think about you.
Yeah, just do a little audio clip on your phone and then post it.
because the only reason I reckon pronunciation would be like,
Tag us
it's like in Norway, Dagbladet is
Hashtag
the,
pod topic
is the
They
podcast.
have
newspaper.
party, I think.
Yeah, so it'd be System Bolaget, I assume. But
Dear
Anyway,
topic.
Hola.
Is this next topic from the hosts?
It is indeed.
One from the hot pot.
It's very short. It is musical interlude.
Hey!
I don't have one lined up.
Oh, I can give you one.
Beth, there we go.
Oh,
What have you got to play for us?
Tom. Sorry, just jump in there quickly. Tim's already said he'd be happy with us playing an Orangafruüp track. Which is his band's.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do that.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Orangafruüp.
Sorry, Beth.
Orangafruüp. Oh, so you know Sav and
I don't
Tim.
know.
Yes.
Tim's in a band. They're an electronic band. They've done a variety of stuff. Like some bits have gone psytrance, some bits have gone kind of other directions. One of the most interesting things about them is they're one of the few bands, one of the few kind of people still performing today that use an instrument called an eigenharp.
What's an eigenharp?
An eigenharp is kind of it's kind of like an extremely complicated melodica turned into a MIDI controller
nice.
with LEDs all up and down it.
Nice. Oh, hang on, I know those ones.
Yeah. They're pretty fantastic.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
It just made me think of the taking hobbits to the Eisenharp.
Eigenharp.
Oh, my hip.
I just realised I heard a squeaking in my ears and my glasses disappeared.
Hey!
Thank you, buddy.
They're making the hobbits play
Whoa.
Eigenharp. They're making the hobbits play
Fucking hell.
Eigenharp.
You can try the American oak.
Apparently, I can try quite a lot of it. Wow.
Well, Eigenharp.
Right, so, musical interlude.
Musical interlude. So yeah, this is Orangafruüp with a track that Tom will introduce.
With another stinger that I've got to come up with an idea for. Shit.
Yeah. Hey!
So, folks, this is Tom from the future. It's very nice here. It's less drunk, a little bit drunk, but less drunk than it was back then. And there's also like a comfy bed underneath me. I'm alone. I'm not surrounded by idiots. Yeah, basically, I'm having a nice, pleasant evening by myself editing this podcast. And I was trying to think of a nice, easy way to introduce this track from Orangafruüp. Taz gave me some ideas. You know what his ideas are like, though. They're a bit whimsical and shit. So I thought, well, I'll do like a little just radio skip in between the frequencies, scan all over the frequency shop, that kind of deal, to give myself an intro. And then I actually listened to the track, and they've done it better than I ever could. So fuck it, I'm beat, don't care anymore. This is Orangafruüp Trippples. Okay, and they've spelled that with 3 P's. Do you see what they did there? Do you get it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so that's Orangafruüp Trippples. Got it? Cool. Check the show notes if you don't got it. There's also a load of links to their web address where you can buy their full album, give it a listen on Bandcamp, try before you buy sort of thing, but definitely buy. You know what? Buy before you try. Done. Cool. Orangafruüp Trippples. Thank you.
Taken aback by their own success. Belly across eyes. They play with their skins.
Wills in 1 minute.
I think my favourite thing about that was the way the drum loop sounded like 9 million cum-soaked gym socks thrown at Prince Philip.
Not Prince Philip. No, not Prince Philip. Tupac, definitely
it
Tupac.
was with the as well. With the it was wonderful. And the
I just don't think they should do it backwards next time.
I really enjoyed the silent F.
Silence in quotation marks.
Yes.
It's a
Very
musical tone,
edgy.
darling.
No, I think you'll find that's an ironic silence. You may not have heard of it much.
Oh,
but
the
yeah,
ironic silent F.
yeah, you may not have heard them because they're quite obscure. You know, it's the ironic.
I mean,
silence.
I like them. I don't expect you to.
No, exactly.
no, but I mean, this is
So
the
post for the
advantage
class.
of playing with an eigenharp. You've got the ironic F key.
Is it just made out of hipsters' beards?
And pressing it is such a chore. You just don't understand me. Oh fuck.
Ironically.
Do irony sharp. Post irony. Yeah.
I live in an irony flat.
Condone no.
Anyway, topic, help.
Well done.
Thank you, Tim.
It's got almost no words on it this time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Orangafruüp. Very good. Carry on, Dee.
Hello.
Have you worked out what it says yet?
Yes, Tom helped me.
Right, because I still think it says best.
I'm the only person who can read Kel's handwriting, apparently. So,
This is from Big Al. Love you.
hello, Big Al.
Hello, sexy.
I don't love you. I like you until I meet you, and then I'll love you. Where are you?
Priorities.
I was chatting to him today. He is definitely going to come down. It's just a case
Can I
of
have a hug, Al?
He's very good at hugs.
Oh,
I bet he is.
Better than me.
gauntlet thrown.
Well,
The best part about that, Hal, is you looked fairly serious about it.
I went.
well, like in comparison, for one thing, Hal, he's less demanding.
No, I'm not. God, why would you say that? Justify yourself.
Topic.
Big Al, best horror.
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 Oh, and that's
Horror?
why you're talking about Dark
pretty
Crystal.
sure it says horror.
Because of horror. I am the Emperor.
No, actually, we were genuinely talking
Horror
about
apparently has 2 U's in it.
Let's have a look. Let's
Is
just
that
double
just the
check
best
this.
Horror.
dog bark?
Well, to be honest,
Hello?
that's the one that makes the most sense because I can't see any other way.
That is
It
horror.
says horror.
That is
Yeah,
horror.
but if you read...
Or hummus.
It does say
Best
hummus.
hummus.
yeah.
Hummus or horror?
Spiced
I've got
chickpea.
loads-
Spiced Moroccan chickpea.
Yeah.
Moroccan
The
chickpea, yes.
humor
Yeah.
horror.
No.
Yeah.
Roast red pepper.
Humor.
Roast red pepper.
Oh,
You know,
rose
for
red
someone
pepper
who
is
doesn't
really
like
good.
whimsy, you're definitely playing along.
Silence break while everyone says goodnight to Darren.
Everybody at home, say goodnight to Darren. Best horror?
Funny enough, I was having this conversation with someone I worked
Horror
with today.
Not
Was it Big Al?
Not Big Al, not Big Al. I'm a different person.
Or as they like to say in America, horror.
Horror.
Which always makes you just think is now
this
we
horror
go
really
like,
scary?
Yeah, what category is this film? Oh, it's horror. Oh, I'm
Oh,
watching a horror
shit.
film. This is going to be marvelous.
No American bashing. This is going to be the anti-American bashing.
Sorry, yes.
Well,
of
no,
course.
because maybe I've misinterpreted it. Maybe Americans are a lot less sexist and sexually aggressive than I thought. Because like when they call a girl, "Oh, you're such a whore," maybe they're just saying horror.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
It's not
No,
nice.
but it's less offensive.
Unless they were saying it was sort of reference to Russian.
I don't know.
If-
In
I
E-
think I'd rather be a whore than a
yeah, I was
horror.
going to say in English it might be.
People might die in a horror,
but maybe-
not just get crabs.
but
I
may-
know some whores outside inside before, so
Right.
Did you die a little
So,
inside?
Dearla,
Best horror.
Best horror. Of recent years, I think The Conjuring.
Yeah, I've got. Hang on, one
Honestly,
second.
really?
The Conjuring.
I really.
Bless you.
Shut up. God, you're so rude. You're such a horror.
But really, seriously, The Conjuring.
I really like it. It made me feel really fucking uneasy.
Really?
And
Yeah.
I really enjoy that about horror films.
I'm with you on this, D. It's the first horror in a long time that's actually made me has unsettled me.
the last film I think that I couldn't actually finish was.
I know what you're going to say, Tom. It's Amityville Horror 4.
Oh, Haunted Satan Lamp!
We talked about that before. We talked about that ages ago, and I still haven't fucking seen that.
We'll watch it. No, it was. Is it The Descent, the one with the potholing? I couldn't watch it because not only was I was getting so claustrophobic watching it, I just could not deal with it anymore, and I
I've
had to
gone
turn it off
potholing with you.
before any of the horror actually started.
Well, so they got to a cave. No!
I can't deal with this. She's getting stuck in a hole and there's water. No.
Even if you're watching it in bed and you can do a starfish shape.
No, it was horrible. I couldn't do it.
It is.
Although for me, the one that always gets me is just playing survival horror video games.
Oh,
I can't do it because I'm in control.
Then, do you mind if I draw the distinction there? Because I'm not a gamer. And I'm going to put it that I'm going to say that horror was applying to film unfairly because it wasn't actually decreed in the wasn't stipulated in the thing. But I do draw this because like I totally understand that gamers are like massively. It's just
no, it's got nothing to do with the fact it has. It does. It's more the fact that it's more unnerving because you're in control.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, horror games are more difficult because you've got to be the one.
That was a lovely spit take. I fucking love that, Beth.
You've got to be the one to punch the microphone stand.
I already kind of choked on it, so I didn't know what bodily function would
No, horror games are more difficult to deal with because you're the one actively going forwards.
You're the one who has to open that door.
Sure.
And actually, because it only says best horror, I think that opens it up to the other formats. And the best horror game I've ever played is Silent Hill: Shattered Memories.
Oh yeah, that's the one where you can hear the radio through the remote.
There's no fighting in it. It's just running, and they make wonderful usage of all the Wii's different facets, and then pile in some amazing story stuff as well.
The Silent Hill games are always very, very, very cool.
Lovely. Yeah.
Are they actually that good? Because I had the misfortune of having to watch someone play it for a long period of time.
Of the time and place.
Didn't do anything.
Of the time and place. You can't play the first one now and be scared.
Really?
Yeah.
I think because like if we're differentiating the genres in the idea of gaming, Dead Space.
I watched you play that entire game. It was very fun.
Was a great horror game.
Yeah.
The first one for sure, yeah.
And absolutely loved that. I think the thing about horror, the difference between a horror movie and a horror game is the relentlessness of a horror game, because if you fail a little bit, you've got to redo it.
Yeah.
In a film, yeah, you have your fright, but then you're on to the next bit, and eventually there's an end. Whereas a horror game could last 9 weeks.
Yeah. It's like replaying a nightmare over and over and over again.
And then you find that you're waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, no, but I haven't got another health pack, and I've got 7 alien baby things crawling across the floor towards me, and I've run out of ammo again.
There was, Max Payne.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't even take. I've said this so many times in my life to you guys and also on the podcast, but I can't even take Tomb Raider. It's too scary for me. But I played Max Payne.
Not a horror game.
I know. Oh, there's wolves. The music changed.
To be fair, neither's Max Payne.
Well, Max Payne, I thought I'll play this because it's ridiculous.
Stuff, I must admit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that I would ever get to the end of this, because I'm never going to, because it's supposed to be scary. There's a bit where I think he takes drugs and the whole thing goes a bit crooked house, and he follows a blood trail
of his wife and his baby's blood.
And that's all you can see.
Is this the new one or the first?
No, this is very old.
Okay.
Like the first game, his family get murdered by a bunch of drug addicts, and he ends up taking this drug halfway through the game, and ends up having this hallucinogenic state almost.
Yeah.
And he's walking down a path of his own wife's blood.
But all you can see, it's all black other than the path of blood, and you have to follow this path of blood for what seems like hours.
Unless you fall off.
Yeah, so apparently the weird glitch, it wasn't really a glitch. I had, I couldn't die because I was such a pussy with it. I could not die.
She put God mode on.
Yeah, God mode. So when I fell off the trail of blood, I was just in blackness. And it was the only thing that cut me out of the horror of it. I was just like, oh, it was quite funny actually. It's just a load of pixels just going, oh, I can't get out. Oh.
So,
anyway.
Yeah, okay, so computer games for me covered. Horror films. I don't know. There were a few when I was a little bit too young to watch horror that were very, very scary at the time. I think the most modern horror movie that I've probably enjoyed was The Last Exorcism in Connecticut.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Do you mean
The Last Exorcism?
The Last Exorcism or
Emily
Haunting in
Rose.
Connecticut.
No, I mean the Last Exorcism.
Yes. Okay.
Because there's also the Last Exorcism of Emily Rose, and then there's another one of
I mean the Last Exorcism.
Okay.
The Haunting in Connecticut. I watched the DVD extras for it, and the real life story to the thing that was based on is 10 times scarier than the actual movie. Like that DVD extra well shit me up compared to the movie, which was a lovely horror movie.
Do you mean that the German case that was actually the girl who basically had epilepsy that's based on? Because it's right. There was a sorry, I thought you meant Last Exorcism. Because the thing is that Emily, the original case, The Exorcist and everything around it, that entire franchise is based essentially around a German case where a girl, she had epilepsy and she was ended up being starved, and it was absolute nightmare. She and there's the most hideous thing about it is that it's all down to exorcisms and everything, and it's one of the most famous contemporary recorded cases of an exorcism, which obviously is only now not only practiced by Catholics and the Vatican, but it is reliant on the person who is apparently possessed being a Catholic, which this girl was, and there's an audio of it, which is
so you've got to be Catholic to be exorcised.
Yeah. And there's
does that mean you can be possessed if you're not Catholic?
Well, no, there's actually a
you
wonderful
probably
film
won't
about
think
that.
it's possessed. You just think you're mad.
Yeah, there's
Such a cold.
Yeah,
I would assume the logic goes, if they had the faith before, they can have the faith restored.
and but the whole thing that
faith
like
heals, yeah.
if you don't have belief in the causes of the saints and stuff like that, then how can you it's this cyclical thing. However, there's a great film about a fictional film, but it's called Stigmata.
It's a good film.
Get me off this train!
Yeah, and the whole thing about is that the central character played by Patricia Arquette is basically she suffers possession. I won't give it away as to what it is, but she's an atheist. So there's everything. But however, there is this audio of this amazing German case where this girl is apparently speaking in tongues. The girl who played in The Last Exorcism of Emily Rose has an absolutely barnstorming scene with irony intent because it's shot in a barn, but where she really unleashes, and she does so in the most wonderful vocal. They didn't alter her vocals at all. She just was capable of basically, and all the metal singers watching go, oh no, well done. It's all they're doing. It's just death metal vocals sort of thing. But this girl, the German original case is that she was doing when you do like tooth and throat singing. She was splitting
Which would take years to train how to do.
But because she was so screwed, she'd gone down to something ludicrous like 7 stone or whatever it was, and there was nothing that hadn't dehydrated and everything like that. So she was just like emitting this noise. It's like and it's just she's speaking in this, she's babbling incoherently. But however, a lot of people that find when they watch the optional extras for stuff like that it is genuinely frightening because there is a girl who genuinely believes that she is completely possessed by Satan. Yeah.
See, with films, I think the first film that ever truly unsettled me. I've got a feeling I've spoken about this before, so I'll rush through it quickly. Sure. But I mean, I've always enjoyed horror films, and I remember there was me and my sister both were swinging the lead one day, so we were both off school, and it's like, well, fuck, you've ruined my plans for the day. Well, you've ruined my plans for the day. What are we going to do? So we went up to the local video store and we rented The Exorcist. And it's like,
oh, wow. How old were you?
I was 12, maybe 13. And it's like, are you sure this is going to be fine? Because she's like, no, you're all right. You watched South Park the musical recently. You'll be fine. It's like, oh, fair enough. And in fairness to her, we both sat there and laughed through the whole thing. It was absolutely hysterical.
I had the same.
The first one that ever unsettled me, however, was in fact the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, really?
Found footage.
99% of that, I was on board with this is really good. I like what they're doing here. But still, it's like I'm aware that it's acting. It's like
really?
And because it's horror, I kind of laugh along with it. There's just the points towards the end. It's the point where they go down into the basement and the camera swings round, and you very briefly see the dude who last gone missing just standing in the corner,
facing the wall.
Like at that point, all of the levity that I tend to have with horror movies, just like just kind of bottomed out. Just, no, that's not right. Yeah. And then I finished watching the rest of the film. I was just kind of sat there in the darkness going,
There isn't really the rest of the film. The fact that it doesn't end is what's really upsetting.
Yeah, but yes, true. So the credits. Then I sat through the credits. I sat there for a while going, that was double plus on goods. That was very. Do you know what? I need to get over this. Let's go for a walk in the park at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What?
Yes.
Masochist.
I remember. Me and my ex at uni, we watched that, and that was the first time he'd seen it. And he again was very, very unsettled by that. And I remember we went for a walk in Norwich, and of course Norwich has lots of old archways and that. So we walked on a few alleyways, and there's in the middle, like it was a busy night out, but the place that we walked down was like a very, very pretty alley, but a dark and beautiful old alley nonetheless. Just when he just kind of looks at me and just goes, "Don't scare me, all right? Just
In a monologue saying ammunition.
don't scare me tonight, all right?" I can't remember if I did or not.
I'm sure you did.
I probably did.
I think the whole process of watching horror movies is obviously I kind of separate it at least into two distinct factions, which is the way that I utterly adore horror.
Yes.
I watch it and I like being like, I don't know, drinking it, also watching a lot of comedy. After a while, you develop like slightly higher, I don't know, whatever.
A threshold.
So it takes less to impress you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And now I find that I watch a horror movie on the basis of watching it going, that is a very, very, very well scripted, well made movie with good effects, and I'm very content with it, and it looks beautiful. And there's not, I don't go the moment and go, oh, it's Paris Hilton's head that's clearly plastic or whatever, that kind of stuff.
That was a
But
good
House
movie.
of Wax.
That was a great movie.
it's a good remake, but anyway, so I watch horror movies like I would a good drama out of almost. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it out there.
filmmaking.
I have the same relationship with porn. I will sometimes watch porn going, that's really interesting, and other times be like, oh, I just want to get into this. Horror has a slightly similar catharsis attached to it, which is
spunks everywhere at the end of it.
yeah, oh god, yeah. This is just,
And then they all died.
While screaming.
Exorcism.
They said the only thing is that you don't necessarily, or maybe you do, that I don't remember watching porn when I was really young getting horrified by it. But, anyway, but I think I would separate from a sort of like initial exposure basis to what is a good horror to necessarily what is contemporary horror from a mature aspect. For me, I'm remembering the first thing that ever got that scared me was the 1930, is it 5 or 7, Basil Rathbone version of Hound of the Baskervilles, which was utterly petrifying to me as a little dinky thing. Ghostbusters similarly was also so there. Please understand that there's your thing.
But awesome.
Right. So The Fog. The original, The Fog, is
good.
genuinely terrifying to me, but then again, still slightly young and doing it. So I will now, unfortunately, this is the bad thing about it, is the genre of horror, of entertaining, good-looking, quite supposed to be frightening, there's tons of films. Love them all. Great, good fun. But I don't find them actually horrifying. The stuff that actually horrifies me, I'd hate to say down to maybe 2, which is basically Irreversible, because it was made intentionally as a horror movie, but they weren't allowed the
Even though
budget
it's
if they
not.
admitted it was.
Yeah.
So, because Cassell and the director, was sad of me to remember to forget the name, but they said they want to make a horror movie, and the French film board said no, but they gave him the money if they say it's to make it a drama. The one that genuinely does it for me, I would say E. Elias Marigue's Begotten. He made Shadow of the Vampire. Does that mean anything to you? Which is that brilliantly hilarious, unintentionally hilarious companion piece to Nosferatu, where it covers the making of Nosferatu, but with John Malkovich, Willem Dafoe,
so
Carrie Elwes,
yeah.
and it's just
Good.
stunning. Right, his most famous piece before then was a piece called Begotten. It's available. You can watch it on YouTube. Look it up. E.Elias Marigue. No. He intentionally has put it there, but by his own volition.
You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, E.Elias Merighe. Begotten. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to understand the intentions behind it. There's fascinating things behind it, but it is utterly, utterly terrible. It's just. Nah.
Is it because
not in
it's
terrible as in bad, as in terrible as in you are.
Is it
can't get out
because
of
of
it.
relationships?
No, by the way, it's not shocking gore. No, it's not relationships. It is just possibly some of the most. And it's not someone's gone and got Vietnam taught realistic stuff. It's all fictionally made. It is just utterly gristle, horrible nastiness that's shot in such a way that is terrible.
Speaking of horrible gristle nastiness, Tim Curry is a clown.
That's gay.
I've never seen it.
I was 11 when I first saw that
I was
film.
very, very
I
young.
still haven't seen it.
I just love Tim Curry so much that I don't think I'd ever find it scary. But then again, I'm
you
not
won't
11.
now. You won't now.
Yeah.
I watched it
Just
with
ignore
my
the
friend,
end.
my friend Chris Head, who I used to ride my bike to school with every morning. and it was his brother's DVD, who was like 8 years older than him, taught him his first words, bird shit. But yeah, that completely freaked me the fuck out. But in recent years, it's not scary, it's just fucking well done, and yeah, it's a little bit terrifying and raw and animalistic, is 30 Days of Night.
Oh, I love that.
I still haven't seen
No,
it.
see, it's
The
a vampire
book.
movie. I don't know.
The
like,
comic book, I love the
horror
art.
movie.
Oh, it's a
It was
comic.
horrific.
The art
it
is
was
gorgeous in the book.
Comic.
the artist. Fuck me, I can't remember his name, but he just does this most primal, animalistic
sketchy, isn't
view
it?
of what a vampire actually is, and the premise of that film is fucking genius. Like,
Yeah.
vampires go out and they go, well, there's 30 days of no sunlight at the North Pole. We're going to go to Barrow in the very north of Alaska and have a bloodbath. And then the older vampire comes up and goes, no, you cannot do this, halfway through the fucking bloodbath, and says, wipe them the fuck out. So there's no witnesses. But oh my god, they're so brutal, the vampires. That's a proper fucking vampire.
Are you referring
in
to
that
the film, or are you referring to the...
In the film, I'm now referring to the film. It's like, those are proper
It's a shame that the art
fucking
didn't
vampires.
come through on the film, but
I
it
don't know,
is good.
They were all drawn out,
I mean,
and
even-
pale, and the teeth.
Even
It's
the
teeth.
concept, if we're going back to a more kind of relationship being, if you break down of a relationship kind of drama being horror rather than schlock kind of gore or paranormal stuff, even Insomnia goes through that. That's a horror. That's a crime scene based in the same premise of the White Knights and the.
Yeah.
I think it's a Western thing where we are a bit scared by the thought that there's countries in this world that have constant day and then constant night. That's such a strange concept for us that we derive such weird stories from it.
So I think it's an important delineation to make that I think true horror comes not from content so much as atmosphere. It doesn't need to be
Oh God,
supernatural.
yeah.
It doesn't
Which
need
is
to be
why,
horrible.
which
You know,
is why a lot of
it's-
horrors succeed
well,
when you
no,
don't
it does
see
need to be
the
horrible.
killer.
Sorry, but yeah, absolutely. Now, and he's got another topic
No.
lined up for us.
Can I
But-
give my
but-
favourite horrors first?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to jump in there before we moved on, but carry on.
Have you said your best horrors?
I've got something else to talk about. I'm going to go on to books. You go.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about films, and I'm a wuss, and all I can take is gore because it's theatre.
Disassociative.
Yeah, it's theatre. It's a load of even though it could be really good-looking, lifelike special effects. It's not the fucked up kind of I'm going to get in your brain and really scare you. I mean, do you remember when we watched The Ring when we were like...
I
Well,
do.
how old were we when The Ring came out? The American
Oh, shit.
cover, not the cover, but you know what.
Ringu is, yes, definitely one of my
It's the same
favourites.
kind of concept, isn't it? What's it called?
Remake.
Remake.
Does not do it for
We
me.
watched it and we were
Japanese one
we were
does.
cuddling each other. We were probably about 16, I guess.
Yeah, it must have been.
And we were like,
Well, must have been
"Woo!"
around then.
I can't take psychological or like paranormal things.
Would you,
So I am
would you call it psychological?
I'd
it's-
call it paranormal and psychological.
Would you not call it?
Well, okay, then what is in psychological? But
What
the thing I don't
is a film?
Well, no, I believe that psychological is something like, that still qualifies as horror, in my own opinion, something like Rear Window. That's psychological horror.
Oh my god, that is
God, yeah.
horrific.
Good
That's
call.
really
I've not
good.
seen it.
Cool.
Even the
So-
remake with Johnny Depp is amazing.
Yeah, it's got Johnny Depp.
I should probably see it then.
I've not seen the remake.
I really like it.
So,
I've not
sorry,
seen
to
yeah.
wrap this up, the best horror is all horror because we all fucking love horror.
Well,
May
yeah,
I
and
give my
just
wuss ones?
Go on.
go for it.
So my wuss ones, my 3 top horrors are Ginger Snaps.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Ginger Snaps Strikes Back or whatever. Ginger Snaps Back.
Yeah.
Ginger
Which
Snaps
is number
1
3.
and 2. Right, okay. I made
What's
you
the one
sit-
in the Wild West?
Number 3.
Exactly,
Ginger
number
Snaps Back.
3.
They did a Tremors. The third film is in the Wild West.
Yeah. and the third film I wish never existed. I hate it. I hate it.
Those films are shit.
Number 1 is fucking fantastic. Number 2 is even better. And number 3 is a flop.
2 is amazing.
Unlike Tremors, where they just get progressively more better.
Have you heard they're bringing it back?
Yeah, they are.
As a series.
Kevin motherfucking Bacon.
probably will.
Thank you very
yeah.
much. Kevin motherfucking Bacon. Thank you, God.
But I pre-introduced this as I was being a wuss. Like, I can't take actual horror. So,
Just not a good
Ginger
film.
Snaps. My second one, all of the Paranormal Activity films. Every time they brought out another Paranormal Activity, I loved it. I thought they're going to flop at some point. Oh my god, every single one has been amazing.
Lost footage never does it for me.
I fucking love found footage.
I think I quite like the first one.
The first one I did enjoy. The first one I enjoyed a lot.
So should we just stay right here, Diella, for the entire
It
night?
might help.
I'm going to sellotape your chins to the mic stand.
It's worth bearing in mind, by the way, that Blair Witch wasn't the first found footage.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust.
of course.
Oh, I can't. I'll never be able to watch that.
Oh, that's actually quite a hard watch.
It is a very hard watch.
It's not only
don't think I've seen it.
gory, but it's like really slow.
You won't have.
It's slow, but the tension is mounted, and also it's into bearing in mind the year that it was made.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
That to see, and this isn't a spoiler, is to see a woman so convincingly impaled on a very, very large sharpened piece of tree, full through body. It actually provoked a court case.
You brought this up in the podcast before. No, it's
although
fine.
drawn on because the director refused to let the actors talk to the press before the release of the film,
and he had to break that embargo in order to have the court case, which, if you remember, Mel Gibson tried to do with Last Temptation, The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
And your last one, Beth?
And my last one, which is one of my favourite films of all time, Devil's Rejects.
Thought you'd say that. Yeah.
House and Corpses as well. Up there.
I only saw those
Devil's
two
Rejects.
recently.
I like it as well.
They were good.
Yeah, oh my god, did you like it? Yay! Why did we not watch it together? How dare you? Take it back and we'll watch it together.
It's one of it's one of Paula's favourite films. She showed it to me.
Oh my god, let's go watch it together.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Last time you had a plan to watch a movie with someone, how long did it take you to actually watch it?
I think
Mirror Mask.
Oh yeah.
How long? 3 years?
Yeah, and I haven't got the DVD back yet. It's still in her laptop.
But it did take 3 years for us to watch Mirror Mask
Did
together.
you enjoy it?
I fucking loved that film. That
Dave
was
McKean.
brilliant.
Brap, brap.
Oh,
I can't
God.
believe
Is that the best association you can do for Dave?
Well, no,
Is just
because
to
normally
do
on this
like,
podcast, when
yeah.
we big up something, we say brap brap,
Oh,
even though
okay,
that doesn't
okay.
fit at all.
My friend has a list of movies that people go, oh, you must see this. So every time, and I've seen her do it surreptitiously, and she's quite a together sort of Laura. She's quite a together sort of person. When every time that it's so obvious that people talk to her, and we're like, oh, have you not seen this? Oh, you've got to see this. And she just gets this notepad out, just very quietly, like, notes it down. It's about 17 pages long.
I bet.
Cool. So,
Let's
sorry, Andy. I know you've been holding this topic for about 3 hours now, but I just want to quickly move it on.
I like holding this topic. This topic is my favourite topic to hold. You can't
So,
read it. It's my topic.
I just want to quickly move on to books. Because so the thing with horror books is I don't tend to find them very scary. However, the natural thing here would be for me to bring up H.P. Lovecraft. I'm not
of reading Lovecraft.
I'm not going to. I'm going to bring up one of his modern day successors, Thomas Ligotti. Now, he is not at all Lovecraftian in concept, but there is a lot of Lovecraft in the approach. He tends not to deal with like supernatural horrors, not the kind of extra spatial horrors. He tends to deal with kind of taking some standard things like clowns and puppets and whatnot and twisted them, but also he deals with a lot of metaphysical stuff. And I've just finished his book, Teatro Grotesco. Again, that's by Thomas Ligotti. And there are two stories in particular that I finished them, and it's a book of short stories, and I finished these two stories, and it was just there was one that included a dude who had to keep moving from place to place to place because at some point the puppet with strings attached through some weird gaseous portal above him would appear and get weird, and yeah. But there's like the story is actually about the time it doesn't quite happen to him, and you're left at the end of that not scared but quite unsettled,
anxious. This is what we're talking about. You don't see the antagonist. Can I say that? No, that's not what I mean. You don't see the murderer. Or you don't see the
But this
that makes it even scarier.
But I mean, we're dealing with a line between horror fiction and weird fiction, and I kind of prefer weird fiction, not because
it challenges you more.
It does challenge you more. It doesn't scare you, but more often you're left feeling profoundly unsettled. And the last story in that. I think it's called The Shadow, the Darkness. It deals with a metaphysical metamorphosis of a group of people, and it kind of it starts metaphysically, and then as a group of people get metamorphized, it gets metaphysical. It's almost pataphysical, except you take all the absurdity of pataphysics and replace it with and that's how the book finishes, and you're just sort of you're sat there on a train in the dark going, "Mummy."
You're not quite sure.
I was about to say, fucking hell, for that many whiskies, he's very, very, very eloquent, and then all of a sudden you explain an emotion by
I'm paying a lot of attention to myself right now.
The whole possessed puppet thing, though, that's been. I mean, I'm going to say that's been done.
R.L. Stein, motherfucker.
Jinx, King,
Goosebumps! Bruh, bruh.
Say cheese and die. True.
It has been done before. It's he has a very unique approach on the things he deals with. It's not just carnival, isn't that weird? It's like carnival to carnival weird. That's also more weird, and then nothing makes sense. What you're reading? Oh my god, my brain's falling out through my prostate. It's actually again, the book is Teatro Grotesco by Thomas Ligotti. Read it. It's fantastic.
And again, Big Al, we can't decide the best horror, clearly, because all horror is amazing.
Yeah, but isn't that a good topic?
Hell yeah.
It is.
Andy!
Thanks, buddy.
How's the topic you've been holding for the last 6 hours?
Getting warmer.
Thumbed.
Oh, does that mean we have a hot topic?
Oh.
No. Litigious.
Yeah.
No, I didn't steal their logo at all. No.
Welcome back to Tepid Topic.
Wait, a topic.
So have all of us worked in a bar at some point?
Yes.
I wrote this topic down today.
Big surprises for Tom here. But do we get sick of booze or drunk people?
No.
That's two separate issues, isn't it?
It is two separate issues, but if the answer is no to both, fine.
Yeah, no to both. Done. No.
I've worked in bars quite a bit. I don't
Sorry, who's this from?
believe...
Have we got a person?
Sorry?
You.
Who's this from?
I thought you said you wrote it down.
You said you wrote it down.
Oh, no. I wrote it down today.
That's my writing.
Okay. It
Okay, it's
doesn't...
Beth.
So Beth wrote it down. It doesn't have a name on it.
What pot was it from?
The host pot.
Oh, maybe it was me.
Maybe it was a very similar topic then.
Well,
Maybe-
good luck in the future when we're discussing this again.
So maybe Beth might have brought forward the topic, working in a bar, get sick of booze or drunk people. I don't think, I mean, yes, I've been working at a bar and I've been sick of booze, but only in the same way that I've been sick of booze when I've not been working at a bar, like after a big night.
Hungover is what
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've cottoned onto that.
When you got to have 2 Red Bulls before you start boozing again.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think
But,
more than getting sick of drunk people or booze, more in reference to drunk people, not as much get sick, more tedious.
There's the odd drunk person that would get tedious, but then I don't know. With every drunk that you serve at a bar that's proper drunk,
Illegal.
there's
then
no.
you shouldn't serve them.
Oh, not the places I used to work. And
But Syria's fucked up right now, you know.
but like for every drunk person
illegal.
who was a knob, they were less. There were like there were more drunk people that were at least either funny or reasonably nice.
Yeah.
Well,
And
yeah.
the predominant
The average
number
drunk
of them
person, no, I didn't get sick of.
So, this is what I'm going to say. Like, I don't tend to get sick of drunk people, even if I'm stone cold sober. I don't tend to get drunk with sick people, because even if I'm finding the train...
Drunk with sick.
Sorry.
I'm doing it right now, mate. We as well sick, fam.
I don't get sick of drunk people, because I tend to find it's only a matter of time before something hilarious happens.
Yeah. Or there's blood on the counter.
But surely you've met a non-hilarious drunk.
Depressing drunk.
Yes. Tedious drunk, which Dio's point
Okay.
is absolutely right. Is that there's such a thing as you can watch someone long enough and be like, oh, you're 1 over the 8, something's going to happen, and then they're just being like, and let me just tell you this one time, me. Yeah, so it's.
I had an amazing conversation with a gentleman in a bar the other week. It was me and my missus, and they had a dog, so of course we had to talk to them.
Fluffy.
Because I had my missus with me, and he had a dog.
Right.
So
You're my friend now.
seemed like an absolutely lovely gentleman, absolutely wonderful. All the bar staff knew him by name. He was telling the stories of his life, and it was all amazing. And then we went, thank you for an amazing evening. I'm going to buy you a drink. Like, we're off now. I'll get you a pint, whatever. I was like, oh, thank you very much. And then a Muslim couple walked past, and the dog started barking at him.
Dear.
Wow.
And then he used a phrase that rhymes with sand tigger.
Oh.
And it was just like, right, I'm not going to buy you that drink. See you later.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to bring up. I
it
was
was
saying
like-
we've all met those people who seem like well sound,
Lovely drunk.
Until that thing happens.
and you
Until
never
they talk too much.
you never see it coming. You never even see it coming because you've had such a lovely time with them. Now I'm going to use something marginally less offensive, so I don't have to say any bad words. So
Because Tigger is like the worst word.
They have got butts made of springs.
Oh, Tigger, please.
The wonderful thing about Tiggers,
What did you just say?
I said, oh, Tigger, please.
That needed a rewind.
and sorry, in our friend group, the wonderful thing about Tiggers is Diola's the only one.
I like bouncing.
So cutting that.
as well. You should, sir.
And my tail's stripy.
Do we have to
Can I see
reverse?
it sometime?
Do we have to reverse the word Tigger?
Yeah.
That would sound more bouncy.
The wonderful thing about is the only these the weirdest Disney tune. And now on Disney Tune Classics, the wonderful thing about
Sorry, Taz, carry on.
It's going to be just basically exactly what Tom said. It's like you have a lovely night with them, and then they just turn around and go, "Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, we should get a drink sometime. My wife cooks a lovely plum chicken, and we've got this amazing bottle of wine that we've been waiting on for a while for to share for a while." What about those cripples, eh? Yeah. It's like, oh no.
See, I think that working at a bar and being able to deal with all the drunk people and not find them massively annoying directly corresponds to how much sleep you've had the night before, which is exactly
That's
the
the
same.
same in an office, man.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, working at the bar, you just happen to everyone you speak to happens to be an absolute drunk. But then you work in a bar, of course.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
You become the king.
You're
I will feed you, you idiots.
working in the hospitality industry for as long as I have. It's not so much the ability to deal with drunk people; it's the ability to be able to put up with people.
The idiots.
People.
Hardly.
Everyone annoys you when you work in hospitality.
See, this is where
You can be the nicest person ever. You will still wind the person who's serving you up.
No.
No, I don't.
Not all the time.
That's
No,
you.
That is you.
That's me
That is
jaded.
you. That is you. Sleep.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, I haven't slept for like 6 hours. No, actually, that brings me back to drunk people. So last night, my missus...
I bet she texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning saying she was at Penge.
bloody hell.
Yes. You know what, Beth? She texted me to say she was texting you because she was in Penge. She made me pick her up from the station and had to deal with her drunk. The reason why I was annoyed this morning is because I had to park outside my house. You can't park on my road after 8:30 in the morning. So my one day in the last 15, 16, 17 affinity days I could get a lie in. I didn't because I had to get up and move the car.
Yeah, but she gives a good cuddle.
I was not happy. I had to deal with people today. These fuckers around these microphones. fucking.
So the other side of the question is, we've done drunk people, but do you ever get tired of drink?
The reason why I put this into the thing is the
So
only
it is
time
your
I-
topic.
Yes, I remember.
Right.
I remember. Yes, I think I remembered when you flipped it round and I saw my handwriting. Whoops. Taz, when you and I used to work in an old man's pub.
Yeah, the Rising Sun. Yeah, the Rising Sun.
Wasn't going to mention it just in case it was rude, but good.
Ah, fuck it.
So basically, we used to work
We
in
didn't
an
say
old
which
man's
Rising
pub.
Sun. Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
There's about 1 million.
Yes.
The reason I mentioned it is because we're talking about drunk people and handling alcohol. I worked in an old man's pub. That's already automatically cooler than any wine bar arseholes that you might get in a place. You normally just get the same people day after day. Now, it is quite sad because they queue up at 10 o'clock in the morning until you open at 10:30. That's quite sad. And you think you're living off your pension.
You were Rising Suns in Elton.
Thanks.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Anyone we ever knew or cared about there is
dead.
long moved on. Yeah, when we resign in style.
You kill people.
Here you are, John. I gave you some silly pussy. Oh, lovely. What's this detonator about?
Lol. So
Gotcha!
I'm dealing with old men that want to do what they want to do, and they're going to do it
You.
in style. And oh, hello. And it's easy to handle, and it's nice. And what's good about working in a bar, you're automatically in the gang.
Yes.
You're automatically in the gang. It's awesome. And
That's
I
true.
saw alcohol.
That's true.
The other half of this question that I put in, how egotistical, is I saw alcohol, even though we weren't allowed to have tips, we could only be bought drinks. I still saw alcohol as a product that I would sell until I got off, and then it was something I could enjoy. I don't know how that happened, how something in my brain switched to, I'm not going to steal anything, I'm not going to do anything dodgy. I see this as something I can make money on.
I believe it's called professionalism.
Or morality. I've heard it's called how do you pronounce it?
Ethics.
There's
Mulity.
something
I've suddenly it's been brought into question why you're around this table.
I'll see myself out.
I'll tell you why. It's because we've done a couple of episodes where there's not been any girl issues, and all we talk about is cum.
Sausage fest. So there has to be. I'm sorry to brought up when I say I know what everyone in that bar when you're working at once or whatever, and it's like, well, when I say you, it's because I've the other side of it is I've had a number of friends who have worked in bars who were female and attractive, and
I was
Lovely
16.
big tips.
yes,
Yeah.
is that whilst working in an old man's pub, it's sort of like, well, the attraction is basically you first, drink second type thing. And,
Yeah.
However, I'll just say
I'm
that
alright with that.
it really, well, okay, but but the forceful nature, unfortunately, is that there's a lot of people who got barred from the pubs I'm talking about. Anyway, I would regard the whole. I worked in different types of bars: a pub, a bar, a silver service thing, and
restaurant.
it's very, very, very messy. And a restaurant, it's all very different.
Oh, definitely.
And the thing that I would say is that it depends whether you regard. My biggest concern about alcohol in general is whether you regard drink as the mask or the enabler. And the biggest concern I've always had is basically the two conflicting points: is that in vino veritas, in Wine the Truth, or whether someone says something when they're drunk and it's sort of like, oh, I didn't mean it because I was drunk. There are things that people say, especially when you're working in the industry, where you, typically speaking, or what may be expected of you, is to be sober at the time at which you're serving them. There are some deeply, deeply strange things said to people between that absolute bar of the bar that apparently...
the bar.
Yeah, the bar.
Oh, that's very, very tight.
It's run by
elephant.
Ali. It's very nice, Ali. By the way.
Yeah, Ali's, he's really on it. He's cornered that industry. It's strange, isn't it? Maybe it's a family thing. Basically,
They're all thieves.
Yeah.
Pantomime.
So I was just saying, basically, it depends on what your position is with the people that you're serving. And I think that really, if you're going to get offended because you're concerned that that person is actually speaking the absolute truth of their soul because they've been enabled by the alcohol, then it would be a terrible, terrible and horrible experience. wherever, you know, if you just
Obviously,
realise that...
bar work's you've got to have the right approach to bar work. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine doing bar work if I was teetotal and had never had the experience of drinking.
Well, you know the
Well,
strange...
why not? There are cheaters who don't do the drugs.
I know many who do, yeah. And also the scariest parallel I've ever heard was between a straight edge, as it were, as in they weren't straight, a non-drinking bar person who was actually pretty bloody good at it. It's almost like, would you trust a thin chef? But nevertheless, they didn't drink, so they were particularly good at sort of, you know. Then speaking to someone who works in the mental health industry, mental health area of work.
No, I like that better.
Industry. Right. So my friend who is very good at it, telling me tales about the worst person that they deal with and everything like that. And like, you know, as a daily basis, someone come up and be like, "Today I'm Batman. I'm going to beat you up." And it's like, yeah, sure. When you finish being Batman, you can sit down there, or I can make your life really fucking difficult. To hear the stories and then relate them basically exactly to the very, very, very straight person.
Wow! I'm sorry.
Oh, we did it!
I'm sorry. He was talking about Batman. The wallpaper changed, and all of a sudden there was a Batman logo on the TV in the corner of the room.
Yeah, but dare I say, I called it.
Yeah, you did.
But right, so but the comparisons between basically someone working in the mental health industry, where there's sort of like these people saying the maddest things to them, and then it's like, yeah, and the way that they deal with it and the way they diffuse the situation is eerily similar to the amount of people I know who are non-drinkers or don't drink as often, who work bars, especially clubs, being like the way the people are like, mate, if I get you into like the loose with my mate and have like 4 lines an hour, will you give me like a double free? You're like, just sit down, I'll get back to you in a moment. You know, or that kind of...
Working at a bar with really, really drunk people, they come up and they say that sort of thing, like, give me a tip, give me a double. You just give them the single. They're so drunk, they're not going to notice.
Fair enough.
Well,
I mean, sod Beth's purity view of bartending, because it's not true. It's absolutely not true. I've like, if I'd have met you when you were working in the bar industry, you'd have been like the only pure person that I've ever met. Everyone that I've met in the hospitality industry
16.
has been absolutely crooked.
Yeah.
Yes. And I used to work with you. And Tom.
Just you can go over there with Beth in the corner.
Just throw us all under the bus. Yeah, right.
Maybe that's why, because my father taught me certain tricks when I was working at the Spaniards. So there's certain things that he used to do when he was
Spaniards are crooked.
Spaniards.
But the thing is,
No one suspects.
Fuck you, America. We've moved on to the Spaniards. Fuck you, Spaniards.
My dad used to have various regulars that would come into the pub in Hampstead that he used to work at and stuff like that. And he worked at when he was a drama student, working with his mates and stuff like that. And apparently, these old dears, the Pink Gin Brigade, as they used to call them, they'd come in and they'd be like, "Oh, you're Muffy," because they were young and svelte, and it's like, I like you. You serve me the good drinks. Yes, I do. Yes, stick with me, sort of thing. I was like, why is that? So what they used to do is that they were keen on gin, obviously. And they get the special glasses for the special people and stuff like that. Yeah, great. All they were doing was that they'd have the wash trays where things dry out, but you take away the plastic grate. So you have the tray itself, and you put, let's say, 6 glasses in a tiny gossamer layer of gin. Leave it for a while, and then serve them a drink of the tiny... you know, you put a measure of gin in it, you put tonic in. And then basically pass it to them, and all they taste is gin. No matter where they put the glass, because they've got the rim of the glass. My dad used to rim old people.
Yeah, I was going to say. There is nothing like a good rimming.
Oh, it's nothing like a good, especially when it tastes good.
You got to use the proper Angostura bitters if you're doing a pink gin, though.
Oh, Angostura. Oh,
See,
right.
in terms of getting tired of drinking, there are definite periods where it's getting
as
more
a
and more
barman?
common. I don't know. There's a very real chance I may end up working as a barman again very soon. So my whole outlook may well change, which is going to be weird because one of the reasons I've not set up bar work since the Rising Sun, Beth, is because after 9 months there. It may be because I was in an old man pub, but I kind of got this very real sensation. It's like, well, do you know what I'm doing? Is I'm being paid to help people kill themselves.
Dude, I know exactly what you mean. They were queuing up to spend their pension.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know the feeling. I'm a musician.
And also the
Yeah, but
Kurt Cobain, get it.
It does
the
get
thing
to
is,
the point where
when I'm old, if I get old,
I don't
then
think you
I'm-
will. What the fuck's happening there?
look at him, he's beautiful.
Got a
He's
beard,
so
that
youthful.
But like when I'm old and if I've got pension money, I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I've worked this long. I'm gonna go up early. I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna go to my pub and I'm gonna get fucking drunk.
'Cause it's
and if
cheeky and rebellious.
if a young person goes, oh, isn't that sad? Like, fuck off! Is it sad?
Finger.
I've drunk you in weight.
I've worked 40 years, hard graft, tooth and nail.
And
in
you're
order
gonna
to
feel
drink
sad
your
for
weight
me
in booze.
getting drunk.
16 years a boxer, man and boy. I'm
Un-
entitled to my brain damage.
Unfortunately, working at the Rising Sun, there was a regular we used to have. I don't know if you remember Reg. Old Reg.
I can't remember
Beth.
any of their names, but
Oh,
I know their
Reg.
faces.
That
yeah,
already
don't worry,
sounds
he's dead now.
tragic.
Enough.
All he drank
Right.
was Ruddles because that was cheaper by £1 than just about everything else. And he'd come in every morning, have like 3, maybe 4 pints of Ruddles, and like after the second one, all he'd do there is, he'd come and get his Ruddles, sit down, drink it, read his newspaper. After the second one, he didn't seem to realise that his internal thought process was now being externalised.
No, he did realise he was just fucking with you.
No, he didn't. Because you'd ask him about it at some point. You'd be walking by, sort of like picking up glasses and whatnot, and like Reg is like 3 pints in, and he's just going sort of mumbling under his breath. But every now and then you will hear. And sorry, there's going to be some offensive words and some invective here, but it would be very much.
So much reversing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luck
no.
with the editing.
But
yeah,
I mean, that
he's
is
explaining a story.
That,
He is
that,
quoting,
that,
he's
that,
quoting.
that is genuinely how it ran off. Oh, sorry, I almost certainly missed out keywords like asylum seekers and foreigners. But yeah, that was all wrapped in there. And there was a time when I came up and picked his empty glass, and he kind of hit one of those moments of lucid speech, and it was like, oh, I beg your pardon, sorry, what did you say, Reg? And he sort of looked up at me. He's like, what are you talking about, man? I wasn't saying anything. I was just reading my paper, and went back to it, and then went back
It's really
reading
sad.
silently. And then as I was getting back behind the bar, you could just hear him going, and I
You know
turned
what
to-
it was? He was reading the mail.
Almost certainly.
Satire.
Amazing.
But like, I got back behind the bar, and the assistant manager at the time, Sarah, was on shift then. And it's like, I spoke to Sarah. It's like, fuck me. Do you like? And I sort of explained the situation to her. It's like, yeah, no, that's Reg. He doesn't realise he's talking out loud after a while. So
If it was
you've
your
kind of
pub,
got to act as
would
though
you-
he's
if
not,
it was your
because
pub, would you stop serving him just because of his views?
Yes.
See, this is the thing where I work. There's a couple of incidences a week where someone does that, and then they get sent to jail.
Oh
Yeah.
God! Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, okay, that makes sense.
Like
That makes sense.
I work in customer service at a town hall,
Yes,
so
yes.
it's well not okay there. Whereas it was, it's sort of like, as long as it's not like
That kind of
focused on too
behaviour is
much.
not accepted anyway. Okay,
It's-
won't land in. If someone spouted that shit in my
And
fucking pub,
Really?
fuck them.
Yeah, but this is the
I like
thing.
that
Seriously.
idea.
Well, can I be
this
the
is-
boring legal one? Sorry, but
Yeah, I
as a
was gonna
publican,
say.
you can actually. The only reason I know this is terribly boring. Sorry, it's just being part of the livery of the Worshipful Company of Inholders. Yeah, is that you have a right as a publican to refuse entry and service to on any degree that you want. And there is what that then created a point of legislation about 30 years ago is whether publicans themselves could politically or racially discriminate over the people
Is
that
that
they're
not
allowed
the
to
same
serve.
thing?
No, but we
No.
still can for any reason, and the reason doesn't need to be explained.
Yeah, because it is a public house, but is nevertheless a house, and you are the host of it. And any reason you see fit. So, for instance, the Devonshire Arms could refuse access on
Oh,
the
he was
basis
too
that if you
drunk.
weren't goth or blah blah blah, you can have
Wrong shoes.
Yeah, no, entirely that, and absolutely that. And
shouting the word blah.
and you are entirely. The reason why that has been reinforced for a long, long while is because of, unfortunately, it's basically publicans in very dodgy areas sorry, I mean you're in direct,
No.
experience, but it's just that in publicans in dodgy areas that could, like, let's say West Ham or something like that, or Millwall, isn't it? That you got the training area, but that in Millwall it is dangerous for a publican to accept people of the whatever the enemy team is that they because they know that if that happens, the fights will kick off
so
there.
fucking sad.
It's very sad, but it's very effective.
I'm not sure it's necessarily
It's just so trivial.
That's an extreme of the law.
Yeah. Which is why
Trivial,
he's pointing it
yes.
out. Which is why he's pointing it out
It's
because
a precedent.
it could be so trivial to us, whereas our aversion to the racism is trivial to someone else.
Basically, it's set on precedent as to the livelihood of that publican. Is that if they're basically facing the entirety of their public health, their
putting it in
job,
danger.
what they do, if that place is going to get trashed because a bar fight will kick off, and they're aware that the wrong colours, quite literally the wrong football colours, will be accepted into this pub, then they should be allowed a chance to discriminate, be it unfair or not, to say, I'm sorry, you can't come here with that.
Is
Well,
that why?
it's actually upholding the peace at that point.
Yes, and the sad thing about it is there was a period at which where basically it was like, well, you can't come in because you're the wrong colour.
So, working in a bar, sick of booze or drunk people?
To be fair,
No, I'm not happy with that at all. Sorry, I'm not going to go into this. Hal's got a new topic ready to go. I'm just going to finish this one off. If you are a publican and you're kicking someone out, whatever you do, don't tell them the reason. Just say no, you're getting out.
You're going out.
On that one in particular, I don't approve of that law. I think that's entirely illogical because it promotes segregation of a sort.
Yeah, of course.
And where you have that, you don't
But
have
it's been
integration.
there
You don't
for a
have
reason.
society coming together. Yeah,
you don't have that everywhere. You don't have that everywhere all the time.
Especially not with
I
branch
understand.
places.
I understand.
No, but I think the places where you don't have
globally,
it, Andy,
I
I
respect-
think the places where you don't have it, and it does happen rarely. I think it's more important for it to happen. To just to let people in and
to have the fight.
I respect
because the fight
fact-
would happen.
I respect the fact that my friend, very close friend, who is a gay publican, got to kick out a bunch of fucking nut jobs that was spouting shit about going to beat up gay people.
What?
He got to kick them out of his pub for no reason and didn't give the reason because he got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, but at that point,
Ew.
you just say no because you're promoting hate speech. You're
No,
promoting
you don't need
hate.
to give a reason. You just say you are out. That is it.
You give a
You
reason,
come back on the
they're gonna-
premises. I'm calling the
What
police.
was this in a metropolitan area though?
No, it
Does
wasn't.
that matter?
That doesn't really matter if he's facing actual violence and aggression from people, and he is able to identify.
He was blessed the fact that they didn't know he was gay.
Yeah.
Of course. As if he's
Like-
going to make that public. That's the whole
Because
point. He's
He just
removing the
had-
problem.
He
Because-
had
yeah.
that the wherewithal to
but-
say no. You need to leave now. Or I'm calling
The
police."
problem is, sorry, okay, well we'll move on very shortly. But the problem is when you keep removing the problem, you never deal with the problem.
It's
Right,
a
so
pub,
okay, I'll
not
give you an
a
example.
government.
If I know
It's not our
that
place
there's
to
a
deal
pub
with the government.
that is very, very peaceful, this peaceful pub is solely
It's a
full of
public
white
house.
extremists, and I go in and I'm allowed in.
So
Why
Jared-
shouldn't that person kick me out to save me, unknowing that I'm going into a white
If
extremist
anything,
pub?
if
Why?
they care,
Because
they can
you're-
follow
okay,
him
okay,
down the road
okay.
and tell him why.
Okay, so here, do you know what? This kind of wraps in. This is a weird case of victim blaming, because you shouldn't be kicking.
no.
Wait. Hear me out. You shouldn't be kicking out the person to save them from the problem that's going to happen. If they walk in and someone else starts causing a problem, you need to get ahead of that and say no. Like the second any grumblings start happening, you kick them the fuck out. You kick out the
No,
people.
Sorry, I completely understand what you're saying, and yes, that
That's
would make
moral.
so
Of course,
much
that's
sense.
the morally
moral.
correct thing.
That would-
However, to get that one individual out of an area where they could be
They're going to get
killed
fucked.
is
Right,
the
so-
greater purpose right there.
So with that, I completely see what you're saying, and that makes utter sense. However,
This isn't
if
the police force. This isn't the whole of society acting as one sweeping wave.
No,
Yeah.
this is a
Which would work.
microcosm
This is literally
of society.
a pub one night.
No, but like the thing about social action is it works best micro up. It
No,
works best.
but that's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is answer the topic: working in a bar, sick of booze or drunk
I'm
people.
so sorry.
This is absolutely another topic. This would be a really good debate sometime.
It was really fun.
Where we go
awesome,
now?
though. It was fucking awesome.
Can we
mate.
all just have a little virtual hug over?
No. Everyone just breathe for 2 seconds.
Air hug.
God,
Air
our
hug,
air hug
air
is
hug.
really loud.
I started this by saying that air hugs weren't audible. Apparently they are. I concede.
I wish we got a Periscope video of that right there, and everyone could watch in just us hugging the air.
Our 5 figures, would you like us to do a Periscope? Let us know. It's going to be on all different time zones. That'd be really interesting. Anyway, new topic.
Captain Sickbeard.
Captain Sickbeard, you're right, Dom.
What? Dom!
Excellent. Writes in compliance with that exact soundbite, bacon sandwich, bread or toast?
Bread.
What?
Next topic.
Whoa, no,
Massively bread.
What is wrong with you?
If you will, entertain me.
I won't.
I
won't. You can be quiet.
No,
You
sorry.
can be
As I
quiet,
become
and you
the
can go back
antagonist.
over into the corner
No,
with Beth, apparently, because bread is the only way to have a bacon
Taz,
fucking
no,
sandwich.
I'm sorry, mate.
It's
no,
a bacon toasty if you're using
exactly.
toast.
Exactly.
Ham and
That's
cheese
the bacon
toasty.
toasty.
You can
Have
have
a
a ham
bacon
and
toast
cheese
if you
toast.
like.
Right,
No,
cross
don't worry
talk.
about it.
There's no pedantics in taste.
Pedantics.
Pedantics.
You're pedantic to taste.
Pedantic. Plenty pedantic.
Plenty taste.
Plenty taste.
Okay, it's not very often.
Plenty toasty?
Oi.
It's not very often I have to do this, but I'm gonna have to quote Hegel: synthesis, antithesis, synthesis is neither bread, it's neither toast. It is lightly toasted bread. That is what makes the best bacon sandwich.
Yes,
you.
because it's
No.
I
Just-
agree with
just
Taz
that-
because
that
it's all
edge.
hot.
No.
It's
No.
not just that. It's not just that because like after you have bacon and whatever else you got in there, because let's face it, it's very rarely just a bacon sandwich.
Absolutely. In this house, it's definitely only rarely a bacon sandwich.
This is true.
Or a rare bacon sandwich.
If when you lightly toast
Tapeworms.
Dangerous.
when you lightly toast the bread, doesn't matter what you put in it, you still get some extra texture from the actual
And that's
sandwich.
what-
Lovely
that's what
rhythm,
I-
isn't
No,
it? Extra
that's
texture.
what I like about bread. You don't have the texture.
Yeah, I was going
It's
to say,
all about
that's
the
what
bacon.
the majority
You're having a
us
bacon
for.
sandwich.
I don't know about how, but
I,
us three.
I don't eat bread, so
So you're,
He's going for the raw meat.
I'm allowed to vote.
so you're anti-toast.
Oh, right, because I'm gay, I can't decide on what the
No,
fact
I'm
that-
saying you're not.
what you
You're
said.
not. You're not.
Oh,
You're not
you
for
said.
toasted. You're not for toasted bread. That's what I'm saying.
I don't have
No.
bacon sandwiches.
Hal-
I
Hal
have
is
bacon
not-
spelt crackers.
Hal is not.
I'm
Hal-
not saying
Hal-
I'm anti-toast.
No, but you're.
I'm saying in this context, I can understand the ethical procedure of toasting bread or not. And at this particular point, I've got to admit,
All
my
right, so
personal opinion.
you're a nay. You're a nay. We all vote for
So
toast.
emotional.
I'm sorry. That is the first time I've had to actually bring down my arms in. Shut the fuck up,
Do you know what,
And
Tom?
it's over bacon. How
this is
fucking
bacon
English
sandwiches.
are
Of
we?
course it is.
This is bacon sandwiches.
This is the most
Behave.
passionate topic
Milk,
ever.
milk first or tea?
Fucking A.
Tom,
Tea.
Exactly, tea.
Tom,
Well,
you need-
why are you putting milk in tea? So-
you need some new friends.
We just got some really hard, racial.
I just want to throw it out there.
Oh,
I prefer
oppression
sausages.
No. I am.
Please don't make that
Ladies
sound
and
like-
gentlemen, thank you for listening to Pod Topic Podcast. I've been your host, Tom. Good night.
That will not do. I am with Beth. I also prefer sausages to bacon.
I bet
Oh, but what if the two species
was
met
gonna
and
say,
made
bacon-
a bacon sausage sandwich?
No.
Boston.
Poor Daz is trying to sleep next door.
Poor listeners are having to try and listen to this podcast.
No, Rikard, you're with me, right? Right?
Sirius says sausages.
That was Captain Sickbeard, by the way.
What was
Yeah,
your
no,
last?
I was just
what-
really
hang on,
saying-
hang on,
Absolutely does not say sausages.
Hang on a second. What was your?
Guys, please.
What was your last order from Cafe Kia?
Basically,
Did it contain bacon?
Andy, I can tell you my exact order.
Everyone stop to explain.
No.
Cafe Kia is the cafe around the corner from us where
It
we've
delivers
had
here.
a particularly devastating night. we will call them up and they will give us a sub full of whatever we want.
My exact order from Cafe Kia was, one of those with black pudding.
Okay, so what was one of those?
So it was exactly the same as mine, as I also had black pudding.
There was no preface. I said to Diola said to me, what do you want? I said, one of those with black pudding.
And what that one is hash browns, fried mushrooms, bacon, sausage, fried egg, black pudding.
Yeah. And was the sandwich toasted?
Of course not. I'm not.
Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't.
Hey, fucking man! High five over the table. Come on. Fuck that shit.
Topic solved.
That was the last recording, ladies and gentlemen. I was so hungover from 1 3/4 litres.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking
you met
Canadian
up with me
whiskey.
about 5 hours too late.
Oh my god.
On my birthday.
Yeah, that was the day
Do
after.
you know what? After that, in the morning. Oh no, sorry, not in the morning. The next day, like Taryn got home from work because I wasn't in the recording. I wasn't the host that night. I did turn up for the last 10 minutes of you guys recording, and the next day, Taryn sort of said to me, were you around for the recording?" And I was just like, yeah, I turned up for the end. I sat next to you for a little while. It's just like, "Oh, did you see the end? Did you see the see the music?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw the music. Yeah, it was good." And then he showed me his a video that he did it together, and I was just like, "Yeah, no, I've seen it. It was all good." Nothing. He remembered nothing about it.
It wasn't just
I love
you.
the fact that you were sitting next to him and he's like, what? Nothing.
Yeah. I also did that to Tom and Dee. Like the next morning, there was a break in what we were watching. He's like, "Oh, guys, let me show you." And then I played them the video, and they were just like, "Yeah." I was like,
You got a flat response, did you?
The best
sorry, do you not think it's any good then? So, well, no. I mean, you showed us last night. We were just expecting you'd done something more. I am hungover.
Taryn, the best thing you did. Well, first of all, I called in sick to a meeting that I was holding.
When was the last time you called in sick?
That was fucking wonderful.
I don't remember.
Thank you, Timothy Dalton and 2 Huskies.
Well done,
I called in sick to a meeting that I was holding, and then sat down. Well, I was almost passed out, but still watching the telly. And Taryn introduced me to Danger 5.
Yeah, I love Danger 5. Danger
How
5
much
is
did
well
we
good.
get through? We got through the entire season.
A whole
All
season,
of it.
yeah.
All of it. There's only like...
with my mind on my meeting and my mind on my hangover.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Anyway, what was the topic? Bacon sandwich. Bread.
Bacon sandwich. Bacon sandwich.
Can we just have a
Bacon
vote
sandwich
round the
with
table?
bread, not toast.
We three are for bread. He's abstaining, and they are for toast. So,
me, wait.
Whoa.
Because you said you didn't mind. You don't eat
No,
bread.
I didn't say I didn't mind. I'm saying it's very specifically bread. No, I'm saying I don't eat bread, but I'm very specific about what it needs to be.
4-2.
Bread.
4-2.
4-2.
I have a right
It's bread.
to an opinion.
Taryn and Beth are in the corner again.
Dom, you got your answer. It's bread every time.
Thank you, Hal.
What are we doing in the corner, babe?
4 out of 6 hosts recommend that you use bread
Ooh.
for your
Democracy.
bacon sandwich.
Beth,
We need to record that in a
Five.
very, very placid voice. And
Beth.
Let me
Air
put-
high five.
No, wait, sorry.
All right, I got a new topic.
Lovely.
This one comes from the hot pot, and it is Tom asking,
Oh shit.
"What has the podcast taught you?"
Oh, Jesus, that's very deep for me.
Yeah. I
Final
could.
thoughts.
This one-
I don't
This-
remember writing that topic, so I must have been
This
drunk.
is the hot pot. This is the hot pot.
Yes, and that's the one I brought it from. This is from Tom. Forewarning. At this point, we have consumed 2 full bottles of whiskey.
We have.
And-
I'm very impressed with the us.
Impressed?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
And this is
Things you didn't help.
We're not that bad though. We're pretty sober.
second warning. This is going to get quite navel gazing. This is going to be navel gazing. So the question is, what has the podcast taught you?
Eddie can't speak into a mic.
Neither can Alex.
Most people can't speak into a mic.
It's a bit
I've
of a
learned
foreign-
how to speak into a mic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be
you
fair,
position
like,
yourself so you have to speak into the mic to look at everyone.
I do, but yes.
What kind of impresses me massively is that Andy is when we're in a party Andy is an amazing storyteller. So there could be points in a party where we're all sitting around going, and then what happened? And Andy will just be reeling off. And it's absolutely amazing. He's fantastic at it. He has got more and more professional to the point where he surpassed what I thought I was professional at the start. Andy is now almost second guessing all the things we need to do. And signalling in silence and things like that, it's like mega professional from the Andy point of view. So, I'm not quite sure where the sentence is going, but
I've almost
thanks.
never seen. In fact, the only time I ever remember that's a non-qualifier. But the only time I ever remember Andy doing any signalling during the podcast was today when he was. I think it turned out I'm not going to pour you one from that whiskey. I'm going to pour you one from the other whiskey. But the series of hand signals he did just left me absolutely confounded.
Okay, the message I was trying to get across was I'm not going to pour you one from that whiskey. I'm going to pour you one from the other whiskey, but I'm going to wait until conversation just stops.
Right. So
Just because we were changing whiskeys, so I was going to ask you like how the other whiskey tasted.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, this was interpreted, at least from the angle in which I watched you, was you got two hands, one moving forward, one moving backward, the other, and then reversing,
I did give up
and then
halfway
you did
through
a
the action.
circular motion with that, with the
I
hand,
gave
and
up
I didn't
halfway
really
through.
understand what you were saying.
I did have a similar conversation with Andy purely through hand signal, which was, no, you're pouring the wrong whiskey into your glass because you had that one previously. You should try the other
And you
one.
understood it.
I
did.
Do you know when I said
And,
professional?
and what was my response, Andy?
You didn't care.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I've got a whiskey in my hand. I'm pouring it into
You
my glass.
shrugged
I
at
went,
me, and I
"Oh,
was
well."
absolutely aware of what you were talking about.
So maybe there's an argument for the podcast has taught us to be slightly better at non-verbal communication.
No. I actually think it makes us more slightly aware because Andy also was signalling things to me. But the only reason I think I understood, or we understood what we were talking about, is because we've been friends for so many years. I don't think it's the podcast that taught us that.
No.
I think you probably could do that over a heavy music kind of place. What the fuck are you doing?
I think that
Tom's doing some non-verbal communication.
There we go.
There's a lot of
I killed your argument with hand signal.
Something else the podcast has taught me is I can't. There is very, very much a difference between drunkenness and erudition. I've always felt I've been more sociable, more erudite. When drunk, I've gotten on better with people. And in
Define
fact,
erudite for me.
erudite,
I've had this conversation with you actually. Yeah.
talkative,
Okay.
well spoken. You make your point well.
Yeah.
Erudition is exactly that. It's not, in fact, that I communicate better. It's that people humour me more. And listening back to some of the podcasts,
When you're drunk or when they're drunk.
when I'm drunk.
Because when the podcast is happening, both are true.
Yeah, absolutely. But there have been points where, issue 7, perfect example, where I've gotten considerably more drunk than everyone else.
Okay.
And it's not been a matter that I've made my cases better. Oh, and there was another one recently where I was talking about the parents. I've not made my case better, but I have stumbled through it and people have been gracious in figuring out what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that the podcast has taught me. It's like, dude, like if you're in a social situation that isn't all about getting absolutely smashed, drink a little less. And you can talk a little better.
So the fact that the podcast has intrinsically had the mission of drinking either a or 2 bottles of whiskey, as has been proved tonight,
It's happened a few times, unfortunately. Yeah.
has proved that maybe drinking less than a bottle of whiskey might be better for conversation.
Although
I never drink a whole bottle of whiskey in a show. as
No.
yet.
I'm absolutely not suggesting that you
Doesn't
do.
depend on who
We
you're
all
with.
share the
6
whiskey.
people, but yeah,
But doesn't it depend on who you're with, in the sense of
completely because some motherfuckers don't drink whiskey.
And but then again, to be fair, I have had some, let's say, at least I thought, verbose evenings with people who weren't in fact drinking that evening. And admittedly, towards the end, of course, obviously, it's to be like, but the thing that this entire podcast has taught me massively is someone that, and I'm not trying to pull rank or be weird or anything, but someone who's trained in drama school, in presenting oneself, I've only ever done so as a character. And
This is you.
this is me.
This is interesting.
And then I've only ever done as a character and with my band as a sort of raconteur on stage sort of thing. Like in between songs, I try to be as comical as I can be. When I'm doing so,
It's a big part of.
it's a large
Your-
part of
your
it.
stage
And
show.
because in fact, some of the things that actually caught up the Bloodstock performance that we did in 2011 was sort of me. Obviously the music is the music, and it speaks for itself, whatever. But I try to fill the gaps with something that's worthwhile watching. In listening to the podcast that we do here, I've become very much aware that I do something to cover myself, which is that because it's only me, amongst you
Your
guys,
soul laid
I
bare.
say this as in with this immediate vicinity, as in it's just me.
Yeah.
I've become aware that my own intrinsic humour that's not character based is actually quite insecure. So I tend to say something that I think might be funny and then laugh after it. And this podcast has taught me massively that, like, please stop doing it. Because when I listen back to it again, like, you don't need to kind of... Because it sounds like you're finding yourself funny. The
I
reason,
think
the reason I'm...
everyone
but then-
listening
but then
back to
can-
themselves
but then-
will
but-
be very critical.
No, sure, but
Anyone
please,
would
please bear in mind that as a I don't know, a latent comedian, because I've written for stand-up comedy, I've performed stand-up, and I've done sketch comedy, and there's nothing more distasteful than having, let's say, a stand-up comedian or a sketch comedian go up and then find their own shit funny, because it's absolutely horrible.
Of course.
However,
But then
in
isn't that just like canned laughter? Am I
No,
missing
no,
something there?
right, but
No,
I'm
no,
aware
it's
that I
not.
do
I mean-
I do that a lot, because the thing is, what I'm trying to do is I'm presenting it as being, oh, by the way, sorry, because I wind in natural life, as it were, off mic, off camera, I tend to extend a straight face position of irony to the nth degree, because it's for me funnier. However, in this environment, I find myself going like, no, something funny, ha 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 ha, and it sounds like in retrospect, when I listen back to it, it's sort of like, oh god, you just went like, oh, I thought that was funny, and then don't I find myself funny? It's like I don't find myself
anyone
that
would do
funny.
that.
No, but
How? I think in like normal life you got the benefit of knowing that what you're saying, and I found myself doing exactly the same, although being nowhere near as funny. It's
thank you.
How to say, when you're talking to someone or some people face to face, and there's nothing recording you, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about bolstering your
Retrospect
laugh
as well.
Yeah, you could just you can say your joke, you can do your thing, and you can play the straight man, and that's fine. You know, they'll laugh because it's funny. In this situation, and I found it started coming in sort of not in the first few episodes, but afterwards. I was kind of listening to what I was doing, and then I was listening to what Kevin Smith was doing on his podcast, and I found like the things I laughed at most were things that killed him also. Like he would say something,
yeah.
and then he felt he
It's not a
would fall to
performance,
pieces
isn't
laughing.
it? It's an inclusion.
Yeah, exactly. So I've found myself kind of recently laughing after what I've said on
But
the
I'm
podcast
doing
also.
it as a protector of, as in what I'm aware of is an immediate retrospect, in the way that, like, if I will say something that is sort of like, oh, I've got this particular angle, or I've got to come back, or or a bit of exposition or something like that, is that I can be like bang, 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 and then we have to suffix it somehow with being like which I'm aware in myself as like Beth recently has really stepped up her game in actually listening to a lot of more podcasts, which actually
That's the sister.
yeah.
To be fair, Beth is the only one of
You
us
say
who's
yes
not
to
really
me.
up
And
to step up her game.
to be fair though, you have, like, you and I can reference like recent podcasts massively, and it's hugely valuable to get a sense of I guess perspective. And I'm very much aware that if you listen to, I don't know about you, if you ever listen to any guest podcasts or regular sitting, kind of like regular character podcasts and stuff like that, that you can gravitate towards particular people within it. That person's
God,
good,
yeah.
that person's not so great. And what I've been very aware of, I can free associate very happily. even comically. I can do so, but what I don't like the idea of is that I'm sat there going, well, I just said this, which is what I don't want to present myself as. This is this
Babe,
guy that finds everything funny.
We wouldn't invite you back if we thought that you were just laughing at your
That's very
jokes.
lovely of you.
I don't know. We have to. He's like married to you.
Yeah, but he's so pretty.
Oh, I don't know.
He's quite
It's all right.
All right, break it up, you guys.
What one of the other things the podcast has taught me is the importance of delivery. There have been stories I've told on the podcast that I've told to other people and they've killed, and when I've told them on the podcast, they've kind of fallen flat. They've just fallen away, and people have moved on
Massive
to
difference
other
between
stuff.
conversation and podcast.
Absolutely.
Massive difference.
And
Because microphones kill
it all comes to delivery, because I don't know that like I don't know if it's because I'm unpracticed in how I'm delivering the story.
You were known at one point as someone who would go out on a low.
Yes, I am.
What?
But then
we did invent the noise.
For Taran, when he would go for a story, and it would just go.
It would just go on a low.
But
just
Andy,
drop.
I then turned going out on a low into its own
Absolutely,
punchline.
absolutely, you did, and I understand that all.
And another thing it's taught me is the speed at which I speak is actually this might be something quite interesting. Is the speed at which I tend to find myself speaking is too fast. It's too fast at times. Like there are points. There are points when it comes to editing that me and Tom have gone through something, or like Tom's gone through something, and so I can't make this clean because you do that thing where each word
You rush ahead.
is already
fill the
started
gap.
before
You
the
fill
end
the gap.
of the next word.
Everyone
you
in
speak.
the room understands
That'd be
what you're
addiction.
saying.
I have definitely done that quite a lot.
However-
I do find myself doing it.
All of us. I realised that even earlier in this recording, where anyone who doesn't have English as their first language, or even anyone who didn't grow up in this country, would not have understood what the fuck we're saying.
And also the Peter Cook as the master sort of like free associator or improviser and everything like that. There's something I discovered that I shared with Eddie recently. Is that we all know Eddie, and he and I shared notes over this. Is that there's a masterpiece between Peter Cook and Chris Morris, which is called. I believe it's called Why Bother. And what happens is Chris Morris from Day to Day or Brass Eye fame.
Yeah.
Interviews Peter Cook, but not as Peter Cook, but as Peter Cook's character, Sir Arthur Streebs Greebling, from the Teaching Ravens to Swim Underwater Backwards sketch. Now the thing is, it's perfect, but the only thing I've noticed is that what Cook does, which is total genius, his character work. It means a slow presentation, a vocal presentation that's slower, which means he can rest back whilst he's thinking about the next. Now, bearing in mind, Peter Cook is obviously one of the arch genius of improvisation.
But he kind of learnt his trade in radio.
Absolutely correctly.
So he knows that medium.
Radio.
I said radio.
Yeah, but however,
Your absolute mum.
the only thing I've noticed is that
Lean that far.
I had, I don't know, some within the training that I had, some training within radio or the voiceovers that I do, is that it's not the same as sitting here as yourself.
Oh, God,
and being, I don't know, naturally funny about stories that you're doing, is that if you cover yourself by saying that, by the way, that was kind of a joke, it's not the same as something scripted or or whatever you're doing. And the thing that we all kind of slightly do is that there's a lot of people who have fed back about this podcast, and rightly so, that they the feedback has thrown me. That they say that one of the loveliest things listening to the Pot Topic podcast, and I will say this is hyperbole, but there you are, is that they say it's nice because they can put it on in the background and it's a bunch of their friends being their friends around. And the weirdest thing is that, I don't know if this shared, but for me, we are being us, but with the microphone and the headphones on, you suddenly go,
I fucking love it because I'm so beautifully baritone.
Sorry. I've got to cut right in there. The point I was going to make was exactly that. Hal, is that it's shown me how I speak to my mates normally, And in listening back to myself, I hear myself speaking so quickly, too quickly to be edited at times.
We might understand it because we know you. I
fall into a similar trap. I fall into the same trap I often do when telling stories, is that I will speak too quickly for my own mind, for my own brain. So I will speak blah, 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 and then I'll
fill the gaps with noise,
and then I'll overtake myself and then get lost. So it's kind of it's
We're
sort of
here
taught me
to find you, Wilmore.
it's taught me the importance of measuring your speech.
That's the beauty. One of the weird things I've learned from this podcast is the difference between conversational speech and something that sounds decent.
Presentable speech.
Presentable,
Yeah.
So, Taron reminded me just then with the way he talks. I'm going to single you out, bitch.
And it does include a lot of buts.
And yeah, but like, and
oh god, so many likes.
And there's a lot of, not just you, other people do it as well, where they fill the gaps of silence with ums and uhs and ums. And
again,
if we were to include them in the final edit, the podcast would get to like 4 hours.
Yeah, but the people listening will probably do the same thing in conversation.
Sorry,
it's not a presentable thing.
Completely, but it sounds better. Like Taron today learned how to edit audio to the point where I just needed to walk away and let him do his thing. And he was doing it himself. He was cutting out silences. He was cutting out those things that make you sound more... Well, to be honest, we were drunk. So he's counting out those big blocks of silence where people are trying to look for the word, but they're drunk, so they can't think of the words. So they take 10 seconds extra, and and then all of a sudden he's just picked that up instantly.
Don't leave all of our secrets.
It's a bit
dude.
inside baseball. I
think the interesting way of summing this up from where I'm coming from is it's listening back to the podcast has taught me. In fact, not taught me. Is engaged me in paying attention not to what I want to say, but how I'm going to say it.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm going back to what Hal said with presentable speech. I've noticed myself doing exactly all of what you've spoken about. In a lot of the... he says, not near the mic.
As Thomas points to the mic, saying present it into the microphone.
I looked at Diola earlier points of this evening. Diola's been sitting back in the chair, but his voice is so beautifully baritone that it's just been travelling. I've watched the soundscape, and it does work.
Yeah, but I can hear the echo.
Oh, okay.
I don't want the echo. I want Diola pure
Suck
and
that
true.
mic. Suck it.
I'm really intrigued to hear what this point is, though.
Yes.
Yeah, with again, with going back to pretty much all of your points. So again, something I've noticed myself doing is 1, speaking too quickly. 2, with a lot of my stories, especially if they're more involved with me, if they're more involved with a more personal level, I get what at least I did and getting better at it, getting more shy.
Yeah.
Getting more shy with it. I need to, and so something I've kind of got better at, I think, is presenting it in a story where it's not just telling my friends and I can go, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what I mean anyway. Actually explaining it. Getting it through and getting it through clearly.
My grandfather said something about being a raconteur to some degree. Forgive me, Andy. So it's that he was employed, acting and post-acting, whatever, to be a after-dinner speech, person sort of thing. And being a raconteur carries with it a lot of performance angles and stuff like that. And he said that one of the worst things about doing that kind of thing, about telling a good story that's entertaining, is that imagine that most of the people behind you are any gap whatsoever, or any moment of, like, what's the 3-minute game, is and repetition or whatever, that anything like that is they're going to be going, wrap it up, dude. So if you
but that's fucking rude.
Right, but no, it's not.
So
it's
rude.
because actually there's a lot of people that if you say an after dinner thing, that they want to have some port or whatever, is that they
Sorry, I was doing the wrap it up by hand motion.
Is that most people just be like, can you just wrap it up, dude? Because I've got some drink to drink and I want to talk to this guy that I was just talking to literally right next to me right now. So sorry, Andy.
Most of the podcasty things that I listen to, I'm more enamoured by people that are actually having fun.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So when people are saying wrap it up, okay, I know you want to get it into this like packaged little thing, but I'm more enamoured when people are having fun.
Motherfucker, I have to pay for more bandwidth. Let's wrap it up.
Andy.
So, I'm not a big podcast listener.
You've listened to about 3 of these, yeah?
Yeah. No,
How many podcasts have you listened to before this podcast?
I think you are being generous with saying that I've listened to 3 of our own podcasts, and I've listened to none of other podcasts, other than other podcasts that I've heard whilst walking around my house whilst Taryn has listened to podcasts.
I'm wearing the cap right now.
Yeah. No, I've heard
Giant Bomb
I've heard Giant Bomb. I've heard what's the one where they're in that other dimension behind the boat.
Hello from the Magic Tavern.
Yeah, lovely.
You've heard the Adventure Zone. You've been around for my brother and me.
I
So you've enjoyed them in the background.
Yeah, I actually love both podcasts. So I have no objection to them being on. I've never sat down and put them on myself because nothing that I've learned from this podcast has been about the idea about how I sound or how we sound. I know how we sound. We sound like us. This is us put down on tape. What I have absolutely learned from this podcast is how the idea of having a podcast is something that I never imagined. It's something that you guys had a thought of, and now it's been a reality for what issue is this?
22.
This is issue 22, and
We're coming up to a year.
Yeah, this is the real thing. Like
It's accessible.
You put. It doesn't. It's not really so much about the idea of podcasting. It's just about the idea of putting a bit of effort into it, and a bit of perseverance, and a bit of passion, and you will come out with something.
I do look forward to these podcasts. I really do.
That is something that
and you can connect with people you've never met before.
Yeah, absolutely. You're at least produce something that is good, that is more tangible than you could have ever imagined, because this is far more of a thing than I ever thought it would be, and that's no nasturtiums on where I thought your ideas were coming from or where I thought they'd go. It was just it was just
They are lovely flowers. They are lovely flowers. They are.
Sturgeon.
It was just the idea that
anything could be productive from our ramblings.
It was maybe just that I had no concept of it. I didn't see us sitting here.
It's nice though, isn't it?
Round this table with microphones.
It's like those stone conversations that you have, where it's like we should record what we say when we're stoned, and just
to say
and through very little effort for me personally, I've just turned up. I just happen to be here.
We're doing it in your house.
I'm loving that I'm a part of this, but it's something that everyone can achieve with not too much.
It's a lovely medium.
So,
One
go
thing.
on, D.
Sorry, dude.
I put up my hand first, but yeah, it's fine.
I'm more pretty. Shush.
Just because you won the genetic lottery.
The genetic lottery.
Genetic lottery.
Yeah, absolutely. Deodorant is a genetic laureate.
Laura genetic.
By the way, we're well pushing 2 hours and a half. So
Excellent. I shall hurry up.
We cuts. That's nothing.
Don't forget those 20 minutes of where we wouldn't talk.
Shut up. Let's go.
One thing to jump on the back of Andy's point of to not kind of take heed of where this podcast would go. One, again, like Andy, I didn't listen to podcasts. I still don't listen to podcasts. This is pretty much the one I listen to, other than the ones my friends listen to in my house.
You're doing better than me.
But one thing that really fucking took me by surprise was Rikard. I'm talking to you.
My God, Rikard.
Fuck me, Rikard.
To have
maybe fuck me, Rikard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I'd let him fuck me.
I'd watch.
come over. We'll see how it goes.
Come all over.
Netflix and chill.
Baby, it's a sure thing.
But one thing that took me by surprise to the nth degree was the fact that someone had, fuck knows how you found it.
Completely unlinked to us. managed to find it.
That's
Other
what
than
shocked
metal.
me the most. And it just
He's
kind
in
of
a
went,
metal band,
oh,
that's
this is kind of
all it
cool.
was.
No.
Which gives face to the
There's no
subculture, doesn't it, really?
There's no connection, though.
Yeah, no, but it's a subculture.
There's no connection, though.
You know what I mean, though?
There's no
Avocado.
connection,
Yeah,
though.
avocado.
But I'm just gonna add in here. I know on a previous episode we had some fan mail, and I was a little bit sort of just like, well, it's lovely to have fan mail, but I don't really know how to accept that.
It's weird, isn't it?
And I feel that I was almost a little bit down on the fact that we'd had fan mail, and I didn't mean
You
to be
almost get
like that.
rejected, you know?
Yeah, because
it's
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because this is my living room.
Yeah.
This is
the boys' house.
This
is the
right.
sawmill.
This is the thing. This is the thing. It's not my living room. This is the boys' house, which are two different things.
Yeah, okay.
I
There's
rent a room that happens to
Adjoin
to a common room where
the boys' house.
where all my friends hang out.
Yeah.
So this is where all this craziness happens.
Boys' house.
It's beautiful and wonderful, and I've absolutely loved it and embraced it.
You haven't lived here long enough to understand the class.
5 years, motherfucker.
Yeah. So sorry. So I want to quickly wrap up with what you were saying, Dioda. The fact that we get.
Say it again, dear.
I mean,
Well, I didn't finish my letter.
I mean, we've got a series of people. We've got a series of people that we don't see very often. We've got like Captain Sickbeard. We got Dan. We got Big Al. They listen to it, and we do it for them. But then we also got the people that have no attachment to us whatsoever. We've got Rikard. We've got Doc Mantis Toboggan. And there
These
may
are
be
people
others that we
reach
don't
out.
know.
I'm sorry, there are much more people listening to this podcast. We don't know their names.
Also,
Then we
my
do know
Because
their names.
they need to give topics in, and we
You
will
should
talk
definitely
with
give
you.
us topics.
We're
Also-
going to have a conversation with you, my loves.
Don't put them under pressure.
also my old
literally no
workmates.
pressure. I barely listen to the podcast as it is, so you have no pressure.
I did want to make one final point about idiomatic mimesis, but I think that might be a little bit wanky at this point, so we'll move on.
Also, my old workmates. So I was jumping back onto the point before Taryn interrupted. But having kind of going to see them and have them again without them putting topics in. We don't know that listen to have people that I've known at work and go into the point of, oh, by the way, we listened to that. Oh, that's really good. That's really funny. Have someone tell me that me and my friends hanging out is really cool and really funny and really good to listen to. It's
Let's not
fucking
get
bizarre.
I had a really
No,
weird,
I'm not
I
getting
had a
egoed about
really
it. It's
weird
fucking
moment of
weird.
fucking Bloodstock where I ran into like Silas and
Mike.
Michael Brooks. Michael Brooks came up and talked to me like he was one of my mates.
He did go to school with me forever.
I've never met him though, and he knew me, and it was heartwarming, and it was like, holy shit, this person actually knows something about me.
Yeah.
And I need to get to know him because he's really cool. Anyway, I need to wrap this shit up because when me and Taryn first sat down and said, like, no, we've been talking about this for years, let's do a fucking podcast. The entire reason behind doing this podcast was no one's going to listen. No, wait, there's 7 billion people in the world. If we put out bullshit, someone else might listen.
Yeah.
And that was kind of beautiful because people did latch onto that. And you will always find an audience if you put out your bullshit.
Yes.
Do you mind if I... Sorry.
Oh,
It's
yes.
that
Go for it, Al.
there's an Hispanic family that is on Vine that is massively popular. And forgive me.
The
I
AV family.
Thank you very much. They are. There's a lot of
They're
people who
Canadian,
apparently
actually.
feed... Yeah,
The
the
mum
wife
is
is Hispanic.
Hispanic.
It's an Hispanic family because they are...
Because the mum's Hispanic.
Their feedback that they receive is, I wish I were part of your family.
That's beautiful.
And this is something
Oh
that...
God, yeah, they're fucking inspirational.
And that this is something...
they are inspirational.
Honestly,
they are gorgeous
it is
together.
a mother and a father, happily married, with 2 children.
Who are hilarious.
And the 2 children, the two children basically contribute to the vines in they're very dramatic and everything like that, and they have this feedback. They respond to it going, well, okay, that's interesting, but we are just the family that we are. We, however, I have had feedback independently of anything related to PTP, is that I've had people going, I wish I were there, and I'm happy to have you audio-wise around me and everything like that I want to hear that, and that, to me, is enormous.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about. The Doug Stanhope podcast. Like, it's everyone getting drunk, getting excited together. There's everyone like having fun together. That's just a Doug Stanhope with like drinking stuff like that. Even when it's completely sober talk, it's just friends having a discussion.
Isn't that your favourite podcast?
My
favourite
podcasts are. I listen to the interview podcasts because they are more prevalent. But I really want to listen to the microphones that have been shoved in a room.
Motherfucker, you've
where
been listening
people
to
talk.
Smallcast for a long time.
I have, and that is literally
As two
people
friends
turning up
talking.
at Kevin Smith's house and they just talk, and it's so refreshingly comfortable and refreshingly like informal that it's awesome. Sorry, Hal, carry on.
My apologies. Sorry, it's just that we should wrap up now. So
We really should.
Absolutely. Allow
I've
me
been doing the wrap-up sign for about an hour.
before the wrap up.
Topic, Death.
Allow me to apologise for ending on the single wankiest topic ever.
Yeah, it's quite an egotistical stroke.
And
I
also,
love myself. I'm a sexy bitch.
Also-
and I'm so
You've seen him on
baritone.
Instagram. He's ever so
Look
dimpled.
at me. I've got my beard. I'll put on a selfie right now. Shutting. There we go.
enjoy this edit job.
Right.
That's all I've got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Right,
let's,
we need some
let's
music.
The last
absolutely
topic.
call that here. Let's get some music up in this bitch.
Right, so what kind of music are we going to go out with?
Why do you never think of this before?
Right, okay. Can we just make really unnerving noises?
right, can I please do...
Okay, in honour of Jonah Lomu,
Who?
Oh, good man.
Who?
Let's do
Who?
the hacker in the style of
let's
something.
do a hot topic.
Who?
Jonah Lomu.
Who?
The hacker
All
as fairies.
black.
Hacker as fairies.
Right,
God,
so
that'd be good.
You
Oh,
gotta
you
explain,
need-
like,
you
who
need
are
the
we talking
hacker.
about?
Come on,
Do you know who we're talking about?
Yeah, no. Let's not do that
Right,
because we
I'm
don't
gonna-
actually know it.
I'm
so
gonna
it's
put
just
my
gonna
hand
be
up.
That's
offensive.
the
and
point.
I'm going to
Yeah,
stick
it's
on
just
Beth's
gonna be
point.
offensive.
I don't know the hacker.
What
I
are we
wouldn't
talking
like to
I
about?
have to
disrespect
say,
it.
Jonah
I don't
Lomu.
want to disrespect
Jonah
it.
Lomu is honestly one of my heroes. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely adore
Do you know the
that
hacker?
man.
Well, then...
Apart from a comment.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
So
know
let's
any
not
of
do it,
no.
then
because that's
chaps,
really
then chaps,
disrespectful.
is it an idea to do the theme tune to the Pot Topic podcast as...
Yeah.
Also, putting a shout out there, as I spoke to Taryn earlier, can we get
Stop touching each
a
other.
real
It's
Pot
disgusting.
Topic podcast theme tune
Okay.
that's not free music on the internet?
Yeah, I know, but it's really difficult because we all work.
No, listeners out there,
Oh.
if you have a theme tune
Rikard, it's on
idea,
Holy shitballs! Big Al plays the saxophone. That's right, the bendy sex whistle is in his possession.
okay, I need a theme tune, please, ladies and gentlemen. It's emails at pottopicpodcast.com.
Can I...
Please send your submissions. We could really do with a new theme tune because I really want one
Can I-
that's our own.
Can I lay down the chord progression for it?
Yeah.
No.
No.
You could try. You could add a suggestion.
Ladies and gentlemen, take it into your own. You know us better than anyone else ever. Make a theme tune for us, and we are going to sign out on this. Share and tell a friend. That's the only way we're going to get known. Come on, share it. Our website is pottopicpodcast.com. While you're there, you can sign up to the newsletter. Our Twitter is at pottopicpodcast.com. Search us on Facebook and Tumblr, Pot Topic Podcast. Our Instagram account is at PodTopic Podcast, hashtag PodTopic Podcast. I'm guessing you're seeing a theme here. I don't know, you might be slow. Emails at PodTopic Podcast. Send us your feedback, your suggestions, everything you think of. I want to hear from you. Rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. 5 stars, you know this shit's worth it. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. It's only traditional. Death metal! Good night.
Yeah. Fucking
Music used in this episode was Meatball Parade by Kevin MacLeod for Competech.com. It's licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Please see the MP3 comment tag or show notes on PodTopicPodcast.com for more information.
Alright guys, new topic. This one is from the Hot Pot. It's from Tom. What has the podcast taught you? Warning.
Guys, can we just start this again without volcanic Cal in the corner hissing away? Has the most powerful microphone in the room.
And is vaping directly in front of me.
No, I was turning away.
Yeah, you're turning away.
I'm sorry, Chocolate Rain Hal.
It has made no difference ever.
I'm sorry, Chocolate Rain Hal. I turn away to breathe in vapor.
His new name is Hal Zonday.
Chocolate vape.
Oh my god, hell's on there.
Mine's an artisan
okay.
special chocolate vape.
Chocolate vape.
Here we go.
Custard vape.
Alright guys.
This isn't the third time we've done it. Taran, take it away.
Alright guys.
Fourth
new
time
topic.
we've done it.
Beth's the only person who hasn't clapped. Beth's the only person who hasn't clapped.
I haven't clapped yet.
Okay, here's my clap.
I would have loved it.
It's alright. It's alright.
Would you like vodka instead?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, empties the glass of whiskey. Let's go.
He's fine with some
You're not
vodka.
gonna drink straight vodka.
What? No, God no.
No, never. No, nay, never, no more. And it's no, nay, never. Fuck shit us. No, nay, never, no more. Group clap. No, group clap.
Say whose house? Say
Ron's house.
Sorry, Dad. I don't
My
even remember
God,
that.
the bloopers are going to be about as long as the show.